Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to Due Process League, everybody. How you doing today, Troy?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, really looking forward to these matches. Two great teams. We got some statistics we can share in a bit. And these are going to be the semifinals.
Yeah, so today's going to be an exciting one, everyone. We have a lot on the cards here, and we have a lot of big teams coming in here ready to take that throne and looking forward to these games. Yeah, we got some good statistics that we got pulled from last week's matches, and I think there's a lot to be sought after here in terms of the score lines and what people actually contributed. I think there's a lot of people in here that actually can attest to that. Troy, what do you think about some of these players and what they were able to do last weekend?
We have seen some extremely good players, most notably Nomad from Last Minute, who currently has a KD of 22. He went 22-0 for the entirety of this tournament, which is crazy. How do you get 22 kills without any deaths? He doesn't have the most damage, though, out of the entire tournament. That would go to Stormir from Frogs with an average damage of 201.5, which is equivalent to 2 entire health bars for defenders. Immensely good stats. We're going to see both of them play, actually, tonight. So very interesting to see if they can continue that trend and if Nomad is actually going to die for once this tournament.
Yeah, I think we saw a lot of players last weekend kind of show up, and we had some sleeper stat lines that I think a lot of people were shocked to see. So again, going into these games this weekend, I'm really curious to see what else we're going to see in terms of people switching things up. Because I think last week a big thing that I think we kind of both noticed here on the cast is that people are kind of struggling on the attack. I think, especially teams that are newer to the scene in terms of not having all these years of experience like some of these teams that we've already talked about. It's going to be kind of an uphill battle when you have two titans clashing for these spots here to get to the finals. So very, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Either it's unlucky draw of Dome or it's something to do with the map. But this tournament, the attack versus defense success on Dome is actually 23-77, meaning the attackers only win 1 out of 4 times when they try to take it from the defenders. Probably just unlucky map draws, but we're sure to see another Dome tonight, and I'm very curious to see if the attackers actually manage to take it against all odds.
Yeah, and that's another thing too is I hope that we actually get to see some different stuff and see what they cooked up. I think we might be jumping into games soon, and I don't know if we have it pulled up, but the game again is still up on Steam. You can get it. There's a new update that dropped today. Developers fixing things here left and right, so pretty exciting to see that we're going to be getting updates a lot sooner than we used to. So again, if you want to go check out Due Process, it's on Steam right now.
Yeah. They actually fixed the cosmetic unlock bug, which has been issuing players for quite a while now. So we're very glad to see that fixed. Devs fixing bugs. Who knew?
No, I think it's great.
It's great. It's really cool. I haven't had that bug yet, but there are some players. Yeah. Well, what's the first team we're up against?
Checking it out right here. I'm not sure what the scheduling looks like for the entirety of the day, but I'm pretty sure. Let me pull this up. Oh. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and pull up. Sorry about that. Yep. Let's go ahead and pull up some of these.
There we go. It's Frogs versus Last Minute for the first match. After that, we have Arise versus Cream Dream. All 4 of these teams are actually insane. Frogs versus Last Minute has some of the top leaderboard players we just mentioned with insane statistics. So very curious to see them heading off against each other. Arise has many very good players as well against Cream Dream. So we will definitely get some matches. Unlike earlier in the tournament, these are going to be really hard fought and probably very close.
Yeah, and again, I want to see in terms of the player quality, if anything kind of changes this week in what we're seeing in the meta, because I think, you know, you look at a lot of these stats with some of these maps going 50-50, 70-32. I'm seeing some of these maps here. It looks like for some of these teams that are kind of finally meeting now at the end of this bracket, it seems like it should be pretty even. But again, I think this game also has a lot of momentum-based kind of mechanics where, man, if you start steamrolling and like we talked about, you carry a lot of that util into the next round and you're kind of reading off what the other team is doing correctly, it's really hard to get back into the game. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what we have on the cards here today, some of these teams. And we can even jump back into some of these stats with some of the players that we saw. I mean, there's some really nasty stuff we saw last week, especially from some players I think even you were kind of surprised to see going going head to head. And I think one of them was it Sinister? Let's see. Let's look at these rosters real quick.
The players are loading up in the calls, so we will be starting soon.
Let's see here. Yeah, they are loading up in there. And okay, that's the player I want to talk about, Roach. Roach was absolutely disgusting last week, and I want to give him a huge shout out for kind of plays we were seeing and kind of the proactivity from some of these players, because I feel like normally, when you get in these matches, especially when they're live, there's a lot of anxiety on the line, maybe a lot of high tensions, and see a player like that come in here and kind of be a sleeper, a sleeper character for his team to just absolutely destroy everyone. I mean, it was fun to watch. And I wonder who else is going to be that person this week, Troy. I wonder who we're going to see pop off and get to glaze a little bit, you know?
Ooh, yeah, there are definitely some names that are going to play, but those aren't necessarily sleeper agents. People like Photon, Stormier, Nomad, those are just very, very good players you need to watch out for. I am very curious to see how they will respond to each other, because I'm not sure if we had teams like this play against each other this tournament. So this is probably going to be the first really, really big one where we're going to see strategies which we might have not seen before, actually. Like last week, we saw the player hiding on top of the shelves in
I saw
Bank,
that.
I believe. Yeah.
Again.
That was great. I actually had the chance to try it out this week. Didn't work as well for me as it did for them, but I'm very curious to see what other strategies these players are going to come up with, because right now they're kind of setting the meta to how the game is played.
Yeah, and speaking of getting to try things out, we actually got to catch up with Photon and Q, and we had quite the time, didn't we, Troy?
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll remember that. We made a promise to glaze him a bit, but he needs to perform first before we can actually
hey, man,
start doing that.
I'm trying to see some plays out of Photon here. I'm trying to see him lock in so that, the couple times we killed him, it's not for nothing in those Qs. Troy.
Yeah.
I want to see him wake up. I want to see the beast inside of him go absolutely
Definitely.
crazy and just obliterate the competition.
I still have a screenshot of me actually killing him.
Pulling up the evidence here.
Yeah, I got one. I could send it to him. Maybe that will get like his adrenaline pumping, his rage setting in, He needs it.
I think that might spook him out a little bit, man, but hey, whatever works, right? Whatever gets the players going.
Exactly. I'm wondering what their warm-ups are.
Yeah, I'm trying to see in terms of the rounds won for some of these teams. I want to be looking at some other conversations we can have here. Is we had some other players last week that I feel like I heard a lot about and kind of were a little quiet. So I'm looking at some players that actually did really, really well. Again, you saw like we said, Roach. He went absolutely crazy, and I don't think Photon played last week, did he? Where's his scoreline here? I'm not seeing it on the stats.
He is not in the scheduling roster, like officially, but he is part of last minute.
Okay, so the plot thickens. Again, him showing up this week could also kind of change it up a little bit for last minute, and kind of throw a wrench into the works for the enemy team expecting something that they're usually not used to.
Yeah, definitely. Very dangerous to suddenly face off against a player such as Photon. Kind of a shame we didn't see him play earlier, because I would have loved to see his statistics. But still, this is going to be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, from what I saw in game when we were playing against him, I mean, I was on 160 ping. He was kind of frying. His aim looked really good. His positioning looked great. And man, him on the auto shotgun is kind of scary. I'm not even going to lie. That was one thing I was curious if we're going to see him break it out on defense here on a couple of these maps, obviously, because it's pretty strong right now, actually, in the meta.
Yeah, it is definitely a good weapon if you know how to handle it. It's a heavyweight weapon, but if you can maneuver it properly, you just destroy attackers and defenders even more so. But it looks like the match is starting.
Perfect. Let's get right in here into the match then.
Cool.
Hopefully it'll let me get peek in here as well, start spectating the game.
They were playing on Bank. The attacking team is last minute with Frogs on the defense. It seems like the defenders are really trying to hold up accounting. They're kind of expecting them to push accounting with setting up backup barbed wire in entrance and servers. The attacking team does seem to also be want to push accounting. Both teams are kind of synced up. That's going to be the big point of confrontation. It's going to be a one hell of a firefight. That's one big space, just close quarter shotguns, SMGs, probably a grenade. We're going to see a very quick and aggressive push here.
And excuse me while we try to figure this out. I'm actually not able to spectate right now. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty here on the side. So excuse me, Troy, you might have to jump in here and kind of...
I also can't spectate, but luckily I have the stream open, so I can watch it that way with reduced quality. All right. We see the defenders placing down barbed wires. They might try and flugel accounting, actually. Trying to get a barbed wire in front of the red door without it being blown up. That's a great shot of the roof. All right, they're pushing really fast. They're waiting to collect. They're probably opting for the entrance. And they're in. No?
Yeah, here we go. I got it up now.
You got it?
Got it up now. Yeah, it looks like they're moving pretty fast here. Looks like accounting is actually totally blown open, and Crossing goes down and automatically Nomad also trading out, trades going left and right, and Loans is actually completely just a firefight here, and Stormy is actually the only one left here. Actually, Index at front entrance too, holding it down, looking for a pick that he can get, and that's a green door, so that's all his if he can just get in here and try to find some spacing. Maybe switch the round around a little bit.
Barbed wire, and he didn't bring a nade, so he's opting to rotate back to the red door as well, helping up Stormy into pushing accounting. They're deciding to flash it and maybe push in without a flash. That's very risky. Oh,
and the trades actually go pretty good here. Now we're in a 1v3, and let's see if Index can actually find anything else here. He's in Loans. He's slowly working his way up.
This is
only got a minute left,
tough.
though. He's got to find 3 kills.
Roach is low and can be one shot.
Ooh, and the fight goes of Index. 1v2 now.
But Index is low and needs to be careful. He cannot take another shot.
Yeah, he's sneaking around accounting, actually looking for another pick here. But what he doesn't know is it's so spaced out and the time is slowly bleeding away. 30 seconds almost left on the clock.
Oh, is he opting to... He might actually...
Clacker picked up.
Decide to, yeah, I think they're gonna eco. I think he's just gonna save the clacker and wait out the round.
And honestly, I really don't dislike this play just because, again, like we talked about last week, you get that clacker into an enemy player's hands and the map just becomes very dangerous for an attacker trying to blow anything up on those red doors into ongoing rounds. So again, he's going to opt to save, and it looks like they're actually going to clear everything out and just see if they themselves can pick up any utility drops. And yeah, that's a huge round for the defenders here.
It's one hell of a round, definitely. Quick bluff Bev, lots of deaths very quickly. Index saving the Clacker, meaning they have 2 Clackers with 2 more attacking rounds. So that's good security for them. Yeah, very nice plays from Frogs. That's very well held. It was a difficult push, to be fair. They had a lot of angles, lots of fire lines into that red door.
I didn't get to see the start of that round, but it seemed like a bloodbath right there in Tellers. Seemed a little crazy, hard to catch your footing.
Yeah. Right now we're on C-Store. Very interesting. Players are throwing a whole bunch of stuff. It's a 2v2 map. Yeah, that happens occasionally. Some 2v2 maps, which are smaller maps because there are less players, actually make it into the 5v5 game mode to switch it up a bit. I don't know if we should say lucky or unlucky that it's being drawn for this tournament, but it's definitely gonna it's gonna switch things up. Such a small map, 10 players. Ooh.
Yeah, and I feel like what we talked about last week in terms of it being super defender-sided, this might be one of those maps, though, where actually the attack has a huge advantage just because of how choking it is to play in these spaces. There's no space to really, jump around. Once you hold your spot, you got to kind of set your feet and be ready for that push.
Yeah, definitely. There aren't any flanks or rotations or any massive outplays to be had here. It's just the front on confrontation, and the attackers have grenades and even smoke grenades. Like one of those smoke nades is just gonna completely block off the entire map from sidelines. It's really crazy. They're opting to blow entrance, which is definitely a right play. They might smoke deep or smoke into Teller.
It looks like that wall charge is actually coming out entrance here to take that space in storefront. And I see that flash ping too in the middle of the storefront, because I guarantee you there's going to be someone playing on that bomb as well from the defender side. And we're going to see it come out. It looks like they're stacked up on storefront though. Nobody playing in bathroom. It is being watched for.
And the defenders actually opted to pick the Dawn. It's very interesting to see the Dawn being played in these higher ranked games.
I think the wall bang in this game though is kind of cracked though, and I think that's why he's maybe opting for it.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah.
There he goes. Yeah, we're seeing it right now. Nog actually very close to getting absolutely sprayed down, and he actually makes his way across. He sprang back through. Rock Lee actually getting sprayed down as well by Nomad.
Oh my god.
The sprays are going back and forth, but there's no trades. Nog is going to decide to push in with the shotgun. They're looking for space. Nomad gets absolutely obliterated with that shotgun.
No.
It's a bloodbath in bathrooms as Nog is pushing his way through, trucking his way through. Roach actually gets the other pick. Still posted up with that gun though. Dynamic also going for a kill here on Teller. And Index and Stormy are pushing for that bomb. Roach is suffocating for air, and he's getting flanked from behind, but Roach actually gets a pick. That's huge. Stormy is now forced outside. The molly down on entrance. Minute left pretty much for him here.
And he's got the Saber with a pistol. That's going to be a tough push to make, especially with these defenders who know what weapon he has by just listening to the gunfire.
Yeah, and I think we got to talk about it here before the round even ends. I mean, Index, that was kind of a choke a little bit. In my opinion, Roach had his back completely to him, and he wasn't able to find the kill. The round just completely disintegrates in his hands.
Yeah. Definitely. Nog in a barbed wire as well. That was just a shotgun shell that should have went off. And he just waited too long. He choked. Definitely an interesting play, but that does make it 1-1.
Yeah, no, it's all evened up here on the scoreboard.
And the defenders managed to secure the Clacker. Oh, they should have left that way more outside. They had 2 Clackers, 2 attacking rounds. Why did they take it that close to the actual entrance? That was a misplay from the attackers there.
Yeah, now that you're putting your team in a very dangerous situation on the attack now, because you're kind of at the point where some of this utility is going to be running dry, and you're kind of forced to use these chargers to get through. And so Yeah, you got to be very precautious because on this map too, if people don't know, the whole outer rim of this building is actually mostly glass, and you can actually get peeks onto where the attackers are coming into. So yeah, that's very dangerous, especially on this. It's honestly a little unfortunate as well that we're getting onto Kill Dome here with that.
Yeah, it looks like the attackers might try to go through pit, but knowing that defenders have a clacker, I would actually say go through beach. That's gonna be your best bet. But maybe the attackers don't know that the defenders have secured their clacker. We'll see if Roach actually perches up at pit or jungle. It's kind of a 50-50, but if he chooses correctly, he can completely stop the attackers' push, dead in their tracks, maybe even get a kill or two.
Yeah, and another thing we want to look at here too is the long-range weapons are probably going to be coming out, which we're already seeing all across the board for the defense. And Roach is actually opting to still stay on that AK without the stock, and so that weapon is also really nasty. It's actually one of the weapons I prefer to play with too, and I'm deciding to queue up and I get defense. It's a really nasty weapon, really versatile around corners too. You know, you get that aim, iron sights up really fast.
Yeah, if you can control the recoil, it's an absolutely nasty weapon. And what tech are we seeing from Nomad hiding in the trees? That's crazy.
We're getting a little Vietnam action going on here. Gonna jump out of nowhere. I love to see stuff like this, though. It's fun to see.
Attackers actually managed to lose the Saber last round, which means they have no sniper, which is gonna weaken their position into beach. They're gonna opt to get into pit with 2 grenades. That's the utility they still had, so that's going to definitely assist.
Yeah, and I think this is pretty interesting because we've seen a lot of teams actually just go straight for beach, but it looks like the team is pushing deep into pit. Nog actually being the spearhead of this attack.
Roach chose wrongly and didn't get to use his clacker. That's a shame. That gives the attackers an actual chance at this.
Yeah, and this whole side of the map again is being forfeited, and they have some sight lines here, and you can actually see that they're actually starting to post up on some of these angles and try to play more defensively and less aggressively in the attack, and actually swings go out. Otan gets absolutely destroyed, and Dynamic is pushing in. The castle bomb is all theirs. The defense is on the back foot, and bomb's getting defused.
Oh no, now the
they need to make a play though. It's more than 50%.
They need to push in.
Oh my gosh, the absolute chaos. The bomb's still getting defused though, and this is gonna go in the favor of the attack.
Wow.
Huge play to get into pit and actually make that decision to not be afraid of Nog. I think he did a really good job at initiating that space and pushing everyone off the angles there.
That was a really, really well played. They actually managed to get the castle that quickly that the defenders had no chance to respond, and actually the roles got reversed. The defenders needed to push into castle now, and that's not what they're equipped for. Very nasty. Very well played.
Yeah, and the map totally did get flipped so fast, and again, that's where the long-range weapons can actually work against you there, right? You get pushed off those sidelines, and what you're left with is, you know, kind of a distraught team that has to just rush to retake castle, and it just doesn't work out for them.
Definitely, you can't push in with a sniper rifle.
I mean, we saw Jet do some nasty work last week. Unfortunately, his team didn't get through, but sometimes you can make it work, man, but you gotta have some really good reaction time. Definitely.
The Saber also helps since it's 5-round semi-auto, whilst the mob is single shot bolt action. That's gonna make it a whole lot more difficult. The attackers are seemingly wanna push into servers by blowing that wall. That's a very interesting play. They're gonna grenade the barbed wire in front of the green entrance and then quickly get into servers. They're kind of trying to do a blitzkrieg method of just pushing in quickly. All the defenders in Loans and Hall don't have a chance to actually respond.
And I think most of the time it's actually a preferable method because, again, the defense usually in this game, you know, you get all set up and comfortable in your spot, and before you know it, there's someone, you know, jumping over you with a shotgun and you're dead. So I really do like the kind of blitzkrieg method of just going in there and sending it. And we saw Nog kind of do that last round as well.
Definitely, that's what did it for them last round. The quick push just didn't give the defenders any time to respond. This time, however, servers is occupied by Nog with an auto shotgun. they're planning to flash it really well, but still, that's gonna be difficult or dangerous at least to push.
Yeah, no, and 100%. I want to see what happens kind of over here in front entrance, because it looks like the attack is actually opting to really stack up on this screen door and open it up right away. There's not really anyone holding it. I see one in manager, but he's not really watching that angle, and he's actually turning around to peek it. Dynamic is ready to swing off that green door as well on lobby. Roach looks like he might be the first one in here. Kind of spotting to see if he can see anything. Smoke goes down on those two doors, and you're cutting off a lot of sight lines.
Yeah, Dynamic doesn't know what to do with that. He can't enter it, risking that the attackers are gonna be in there with a shotgun, so he just has to wait.
And I think there's a preemptive molly that just went down near Teller, in between Tellers and servers, and I don't really think that's gonna help the defense at all here. And it looks like Nomad's repositioning on the right side of the map, going up towards accounting. Security also being watched by Nog, and they're in. Roach is in as well. They have the switch, and they're going to be able to press it unless Nog has anything to say about it. Auto shotgun does not do anything.
No.
And that switch is clicked. The vault's getting opened up, and we talked about this nasty angle last week. Nomad's on it, on top of these dumpsters up here on the top right corner of the map.
Mm-hmm.
And some sprays coming out too towards Manager to see if he can get anything, and I think the defense is going to struggle here. Only 3 left against 5.
Stormy and Dynamic are very low. This is going to be very dangerous to push or defend against those 5 players.
Yeah, and the crossfire has to be perfect, but it's not. Dynamic actually gets the trade. Now we're going into a 2v4. Dynamic still holding down managers, but Photon might have something to say about it. Stormy stuck in vault, looking to be the last pillar of defense. Roach swings, kills him. 1v4. Stormy has nothing to say about it. That's the round.
Very well played. They did exactly as they planned to, and they got really well away with it. The defenders used their auto shotgun in the very first match, which means that the attackers now have not only an Ingmar and the really good AK you like, but also kept their clacker and took the auto shotgun, which they might not bring to the next round. I would say that's a mistake if they don't.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
gonna be amazing at C-Store.
Yeah, you got Nomad on that SMG, and I would actually.
They got
surprised. Oh, they did get it. He did get it.
Yeah,
I was about to say Nomad should have probably picked that up.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, that's
again,
gonna be nasty.
Those shotguns are honestly so scary to push into, and especially in the attack with obviously the health advantage. You can do a lot more with a shotgun, I believe, on attack, especially if you're well versed with it, which most of these players, as we know, obviously are.
Definitely, especially because the defenders have 50 less HP than the attackers, and this weapon focused on killing attackers, so defenders just get absolutely melted. They really secured it properly. They pushed Nog out of servers with those flashbangs, and at that distance the auto shotgun just does nothing but tickle.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see how Nomad is gonna play this. It's yeah. If he plays it well, he gets kills.
Yeah, something I haven't seen yet is I want to see if a team is ever willing to kind of use that riot shield kind of as, like I said, the spearhead into the site or into the map, and then maybe push the auto shotgun behind it. Because I think another thing in this game that can be really dizzying to deal with is when that riot shield comes out and you're trying to work around it as a defender, and then someone jumps up behind it with an auto shotgun. I feel like that'd be kind of terrifying. So I wonder how they're going to use it this round.
Yeah, definitely. I think that these higher rank players kind of just have a preference to not picking the riot shield, but instead just shooting their way through. That's what I've seen thus far. I don't know if you've seen something else, but
no, I have. And like we said, the wall bangs on this map, specifically from deli into storage, it is going to be utilized. As you can see, the defense is actually putting dots towards it, and they're getting prepared for that. And there's quite a... Actually, never mind. I thought there was quite a bit of barbed wire coming out here, but it looks like we have a lot of flares that kind of maybe deny some night vision, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Index has 2 mollies, if I see that right.
Yeah,
that's
a big investment.
Yeah, it is. That's just what I wanted to say. No. Yeah, and one. Ooh, he got picked off. Wait,
yeah, they're pushing through storage. They're in early. Tellers is actually opened the door. Charge is actually going out. Stormy's going to peek the angle of the shotgun, backs up. They have full control of storage though now, and they're working bathrooms. Brock Lee has got to be on his toes here. And they're actually repositioning the other 4 to the south side of the map. Photon is getting on that angle, posted up, sees Index repositions here. Nog also on the wall. Trying to hold them back, but the trades don't go his way. Nog gets taken out. Index gets the trade though.
And it's equal
Photon
again.
is the only, yeah. And this is actually really dangerous now for the attack, and actually Index gets traded out. Do they know about this auto shotgun? It's so close. It could be so dangerous, and they do. Brock Lee tries to go out and get a pick. He can't get anything. Nomad also pushes up on the angle. Flashbang goes out. Photon and Roach fighting for the space, fighting for storefront, and the bomb is all theirs if they can just stick on it. There's no mollies left for the defense either. This is going to be really hard for them to hold this. Roach is actually going to stick the bomb. Photon and Nomad holding the angles for him. They got to do something, and Brock Lee is stuck in a difficult situation. What can he do here? And he gets taken out. The attack plays it perfectly. That was a nasty round. Things happen so fast we couldn't even catch up to it. And they're going to go hunting for Yuto here.
The defenders almost managed to successfully stop that push. The attackers kind of weren't sure what to do, how to push out of Teller, but they just got picked off one by one, and even after securing the auto shotgun, it wasn't enough. The attackers pushed in, and they're actually stealing. Oh, are those 3 Molotovs? Did they seriously bring 3 mollies?
If those mollies are going into the hand of the attack, that is going to be very, very silly.
But they already used one on the first map, so the defenders are left with no Molotovs.
Look at these mollies now on the attack.
That's bad. That's bad for the defenders.
That is going to be so heinous. Especially on this map with all the weird little spots you can sit in.
Yeah. They're just going to toss them all into castle or into jungle. That's the feeling I have.
Yeah, it's another round of a huge blunder from the defense there. Not taking account of all their inventory and actually understanding what needs to be used and not taken out.
Yeah.
Their cache is going to be emptied out and they're going to be left dry.
They have no more Molotovs. They don't have an auto shotgun. It's going to be tough. The defenders aren't even... Oh no, wait, they're not allowed to yet. I'm very curious to see what weapons and what equipment that they have left and which they're going to pick. They've got some barbed wire they're going to place into pit. The attackers are actually planning on going for pit.
I actually like this barbed wire that's posted up because you can hold a really nice angle off of castle, as you can see there. And if that barbed wire does them any good and the nades don't go out correctly, which mollies aren't going to break that barbed wire either. You're going to have to actually use a grenade here. So, yeah, this is going to be really, really dangerous for the defense now because, again, if that castle is kind of the, the Stone Fortress is going to protect them from this attack, those mollies are just going to absolutely clear them out, especially if there's 3 going into the round. And it looks like the attack's actually only going to take 1 out with them, which I kind of like that. Save them for next round. That's quite
Is there going to be a next round?
Yeah, that is true.
I think after this round they're gonna switch up again, reset inventories.
True.
So they are taking everything they can, but they're spreading it out between players. They're actually allocating resources smart. They also have a nade still and plenty of flashbangs. Yeah, the attackers are well equipped for whatever's coming. They just need to actually manage to do it now.
And that south side of the map's already getting blown open, I think.
Yeah, beach is already open. And they're planning on Molotoving castle, just forcing the defenders out, or at least doing some damage.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about. Look, there's 3 players all around that castle part of the map, the central part of the map, and it's going to be kind of sketch to hold this, especially if Nomad, and he does throw the molly and kind of cuts off that sight line, and they got to start pushing right here. Nog's in a good spot, actually.
They're all jammed up on pit. That's very dangerous to be, though.
They're so close, but Nog's actually going to get taken out. Molly's going out. Take castle. Grenade goes out too. Stormy and Index are the only ones standing in the castle, but can they hold it down? Roach.
They know it.
Stormy's left in a freaking big task to deal with, and he can't do anything about it.
The attackers
these teams are so good.
the attackers knew there were only 2 people left in castle, so they just needed to push it. It's really cool to see, like, really coordinated teams actually knowing when to be aggressive and when to hold back like that.
No, I don't know if anyone saw it,
risky, but
yeah, that molly going down on the castle entrance down into the pit actually stopped any rotations and help that Nog could have gotten, and they just swarmed Nog. Nog could do nothing about it, and that short-range weapon SMG really couldn't do anything about it.
And
that's again, that's so unfortunate. That the whole round could have been completely different if the defense could have just opted not to bring as much util into that round. But them being down so many rounds, I understand why you would do that. But man, that is so hard to deal with. Those mollies cutting off all those areas of play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were all stacked up on pit. One good molly could have just entirely dealt with them. But the attackers knew it, so they opted for a close push into factory. Ooh.
And I actually really like this map. I feel like we always see some really interesting fights coming out all around the place. Just because the sight lines you can hold are really nice.
Like 2 weeks ago, I actually got a 4K clutch 1v4. Just wanted to humble brag with the shorty. Busted as crap. They kept smoking the bomb, so I just played around that, and every time one of them went to defuse, you just got a shorty in the face.
Hey man, shorties and smokes are like peanut butter and jelly. They go together so well, you know, you just can't resist it. You gotta use
Especially, I was hiding on those pipes in Pipeworks on the top left. The attackers usually don't peek vertically, so if you're hiding in a corner like that, you can get many nasty plays, which is why I like this map. Surely for the verticality you don't really get anywhere else.
Yeah. And something else too about this map that I really like, and I want to see if they kind of try to utilize it on the defense, is we saw last week some players on Killdome, actually specifically one player, I'm not going to mention his name, but he set up a really good flank for his team, but actually wasn't able to fully commit to it and finish the round and commit to the flank. But I want to see more of these defensive plays where you kind of leave a defender on the outskirts of the map. And once the attackers actually get comfortable getting closer to the bomb, you actually re-rotate that person in for a good lurk, maybe get a couple kills. And I want to see more of that. But it's really difficult to execute. But if you can do it correctly, it's really, really nice.
Yeah. Stormir is gonna stand on the exact spot I talked about. It's a very nasty spot. It allows you to peek into office from really close range, which the attackers never expect. Suddenly see somebody standing in front of the office window, whilst also keeping an eye on bomb and some of the entrance doors. It's just such a good elevated position.
Yeah, no, that looks really nice in the spot that he's posted up on, and it looks like the attack's actually opting to go server farm. And yeah, the whole space is conceded, and the defense is actually going to back up and respect it. They're scaling here, looking to take that space. Storage Rooms is held by Brock Lee here, but Akazo is going in, looking to see if he can get some space, and actually one gets taken out. The lights go out as well. This is going to be dangerous for the defense.
Ooh, I wonder who took out the lights. Is that the attackers or the defenders?
And a nice play by Brock Lee. He sits in a spot and gets rewarded for it, hiding like a little rat. And the attack has got to recollect themselves here and make sure that they're making the right plays, making sure that no corner's unchecked now after that little incident there.
It seems like the attackers have their night vision goggles equipped, which gives them a massive advantage in this dark environment. Let's see if they can utilize that range.
And the attack is going to push in quick. Stormy backed up into the smoke. Dynamic taken out by Nomad and Roach, pushing on the south side of the map. Stormy also going for a pick. And Nog is stuck in a weird spot, and Stormy's actually going to get the crossfire on the person below him, but he can't get the pick. And now he does. He gets killed, and the defense holds it down.
Oh, that's
nasty play by Nog.
Good play. That's insane. The attackers were just massively up in advantage. They just got outplayed so badly. They should not have lost that.
That was kind of an upper punch. That was kind of an upper punch from the defense, you know, going down so many players and being in a man disadvantage, but still being able to hold that in and wrangle the round back in their advantage. Huge round.
Yeah.
And I want to see if that swifts the momentum.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very curious. They did went for a green door, the attackers, so they didn't lose too much util and definitely did not lose that clacker, which is important. On this map, yeah, it's a very interesting one because courtyard is technically outside, so the drone can see the defenders. So they need to be very careful where they're walking and where they're hiding.
Yeah, and again, I want to call attention to this north side of the map. There's really no areas that you can actually get into unless you take the south side of the map. So I wonder how many defenders are actually just going to decide to post up really close to the bomb, throw some barbed wire down, and maybe just try to take as slow as possible and just slowly concede the space. Also, those windows in front of options there's a lot of really nasty angles you can hold as the defense before the attack can even see anything inside of the building. So I want to see how this works out this round.
Well, you say there are no northern entrance options, but they can actually blow that top left corner into courtyard with a door charge. Yeah,
My
that
bad,
seems
I
like
didn't
that's
even
what they're
see
opting
that.
for.
And that actually is going to be a perfect option for the attack here to get their hands on courtyard and bar actually.
Yeah.
And
courtyard does give them an advantage, but also puts them in massive crossfire from all those windows.
Yeah, and halls too is going to be a really dangerous part of the map if the attack actually decides to put anyone there, and it's going to be a dangerous one with these shotguns and close range weapons coming out. And I actually think that's when the defense is at their best, when they're able to play these close angles with these shotguns, being able to rely on the barbed wire close by. It looks like Nomad and Photon are actually working their way down towards construction, keeping control of this north side of the map. They're not rushing for the southern part. And Roach is still in the vehicle. He's hopping out. He's taking a little gander at what they got. And they actually blow up in that side of the map. Like you said, these crossfires might be a little bit dangerous, and Nog knows about it. He's on the angle. Courtyard is absolutely the attacks if they can get in. And Nog hears it, holding that door. These guys back to him. Now, Nog should be able to take advantage of this, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Crossfire goes out, Dynamic dies in club. Dodd is working his way up, slowly on his southern part of the map. Construction is being still held by Nog, but Nog hears it. Nasty shot by Kazo. Roach puts it up on the bar door. Photon. Courtyard is completely theirs now. Southern part of the map conceded and backed it into cover, being held very well. And Broccoli gets another kill on Photon. Gets shredded up by Nomad. Roach is swinging into bar. They're clearing it. They're calling that there's no one there. Now they're going to flood into the site. They might get someone on the bomb here, but Stormy's going to have to say something about it. Index also, top part stage. Bomb's being defused though. They got to do something about it, pushing through the molly. He doesn't get rewarded for it, and Index also gets shredded out in the attack. Nasty round from them to take open the courtyard and just push through and don't care about anything. They just want to win this and get to the finals.
Very aggressive push, very well played. The crossfire didn't really help the defenders at any point there. The molly as well, kind of questionable, because that forced them to push through that Molotov.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, to be honest. I was seeing that go down on the map, and I was a little bit confused, to be honest. And I really want to look at construction there. Nog, the position that he was in, could have been really strong from where they opened up the map, but I think he just got turned around a little bit too much. Maybe thinking that someone was coming down from options, but they were slowly working it, but the timing was just a little bit too off, and that's unfortunate there for the defense.
Definitely, yeah. Lots of close quarter SMG gunfires, which as a defender, you rarely win. You don't want to fight those 1v1s head on with attackers.
Yeah, that's very difficult, to be honest. And again, another map that's going to be really hard for the attack to actually go in here and take it, but we've been seeing some really nasty plays by Roach and friends, going in and taking everyone out. They don't care if you got a shotgun. They don't care if there's a smoke in their way. They're going to push through and they're going to take you out.
I actually know, because I was at the warm-up for these teams. Both these teams played this map like less than an hour ago. So I'm very curious to see what changes in strategy they made and what they're going to keep the same.
Yeah, again, some of these teams are going to find ways to adapt in these current metas of maybe playing a map a certain way or bringing out certain weapons. And I think we have actually seen a little bit difference today from some of the stuff we saw last week. The play is a little bit more concise. The communication is probably a little bit better. Teams maybe gelling a little bit better too with more playtime. So yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from both teams. Even though the scoreline says something different, I think both teams are showing us a lot of nice things. I think that I think Roach and his teammates have just been a little bit more consistent on these gunfights. I think is the big difference here.
Yeah, so far Frogs also have made a few questionable plays, like bringing all their mollies, or last game mollying their own door, which are plays you don't really want to be making against players of this caliber. They're going to take advantage of those mistakes, and they're not going to let it go. But otherwise, it's very dangerous. And as we've seen before on Factory, those gunfights, like even 2v4, don't rule out Frogs. They can very definitely mess you up if you slack off or think, oh, this is already in the pocket.
Yeah, and they're stacked on this actually southern part of the map. Hall's in complete control, and that servers room is going to be getting locked down for sure. And the front entrance actually gets blown open, and Nomad is actually spraying through that wall, through that door, trying to find a pick.
Wall banging with the Dawn.
Yeah.
He is connecting some hits. Oh.
Yeah, and they have full control lobby now, but it's not enough for the defense. One gets taken out on security. Index looking to hold it down as well. He has a molly to maybe slow down this push into Loans. Again, the play is very concise. The wall gets blown open. Molly goes out to delay them a little bit longer.
Very nice Molotov.
Yeah. Dots actually gets punished for actually trying to swing into security. That SMG doing a ton of work there for Index. Photon wants to trade it out though. He's pushing into halls, but I don't know if this is a smart idea. That crossfire is kind of nasty. Nomad gets tagged up a ton. Index actually gets traded out. Nomad gets killed. Service is stacked with the defensive players. Roach taking Loans.
Running out of ammo.
Kazo and Photon and Roach are pushing down halls, looking to try to find a different angle, but they hear it. A lot of players here stacked up, and they're not worried about it, but the Kazo goes out 2v3 here in favor of the defense. Roach is actually going to reposition into Loans here, looking if he can find anything else, seeing if there's any user they can pick up to try to help them take the server space. And they have plenty of time.
Out of ammo.
Yeah, this is going to be really dangerous here. But the auto shot can push it on this close angle. He's actually going to take him out. Doesn't matter. Photon again with a nasty aim that we were talking about. And Roach is also going to post up on this door. They got to formulate something. They got to click that and get into vault. They pretty much only have 15 seconds here to make a decision. Going into Loans. And yeah, the round is slowed to a stalemate, but the flash is going out, and Roach is actually looking to push it. And this fight's going to be huge. The defense is holding it down, though. 1v1, Nog gets taken out by Photon.
Oh!
Switch gets pulled, but I don't think there's enough time.
But he doesn't have time. Oh, no.
Wow. Yeah, that's
very well played on both teams. That was so close.
It was really fun to watch. That was one of those rounds that I wish we could get some replays on, because, man, some of those gunfights were really, really nice to watch.
That was crazy. Definitely. Photon actually managed to pick up one of the attacker's weapons, defender's weapons, but
see what he picked up here.
Well, they're gonna switch teams now, so the inventories gets reset. But Frogs isn't out of the race yet. Are they
3 to 6
gonna be
here
able to
is actually
pull it
not bad.
back?
And again, I think in some of these team-based games, it can be really momentum-based. If the leaders step up, start making the right calls, communications coming through clean, there can be a lot of momentum rolling in your favor. And I think here, too, you have to consider the fact that, again, we saw some of these players really pop off last week. And I want to see, again, at the end of these matches where it's coming close, because, right, this can only end in a tie here. Am I wrong?
It's either a tie or a victory for last minute, and if it's a tie, we're gonna play an unranked match afterwards. So
yeah,
Frogs really need to pull their weight in order to actually win this one. But it's definitely doable. We've seen them play.
Yeah, and it looks like Frogs, like we said, is starting to get some things together, starting to tighten things up. They're being more concisive about everything and being more complete in their actions, and I really like to see that, honestly. I think that's the thing that makes these type of games fun, is when you see these teams start to click and the ideas start to make sense when you're watching it on screen. It's just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what's coming out here. It looks like there's a lot of things coming out towards storage. Arrows being drawn. Roach is actually erasing some stuff here on the map.
Frogs is gonna opt for split push, 3 at server farm and 2 at storage, or well, they just deleted it too, so they might just opt for an entirely different plan. Are they gonna blow dogs?
Again, a lot of these long-range weapons coming out, still opting for that strat, which is quite nice. As long as the lights don't go out, of course.
Frog seems to take a second to still finalize everything. They do bring a door charge, so I think that's gonna be servers then.
Yeah, servers or office. We're gonna see which direction it goes here. And they also brought out the wire cutters as well.
They might want to be opening up. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said it looks like something went out towards office. I'm not sure what that was though. It looks like something kind of popped. And yeah, the south side of the map is slowly starting to be taken. Server farm is looking like the hit. Defensive player though is in one of these trucks undocked. And server farm is going to get completely opened up. Nog is actually pushing up, and the defense here is that Nomad's repositioning. Probably going to be calming that to his team. Server farm is theirs, and we need to be ready for it. And one of the defensive players in a nasty spot. Someone gets traded out. Roach actually is the first one dead here. And the defense is holding it down, gets a trade on Index. Nomad on the catwalk, looking to also trade that player out. Dox gets taken out as well. Nog gets traded out. Brock Lee, ton of kills coming out. And the attack is going to be slowed. Stormy's the only one left.
And Stormy is still outside because he was at office, but he can't push that through that barbed wire. So he's gonna have to rotate to servers. Ooh.
And this is going to be extremely difficult, but not impossible. We've seen things like this before, but is Stormy up to the task? Is Stormy ready to put his team in the bag? Oh, and Stormy can't do it. And there goes the first map. The first set of matches.
7-3.
And they just hold it down.
Yeah. It's a definitive win for last minute, but definitely good plays by Frog as well. Some very nice clutches, the 2v4.
Yeah.
When Frogs was defending, that was definitely something.
And again, I think we saw some really nice stuff from Frogs, but again, the aim is just too good out of the side of last minute. Again, it's so hard to win those fights when you just have complete aimers on the other team, just not letting you have any space and suffocating you out. So yeah, that was really nice to see.
For the unknown viewer, some of those weapons we saw them firing actually have crazy recoil, but in their hands it doesn't look like it. It looks like laser beams. Yeah, very well played by last minute. Frogs made what I would call 1 or 2 mistakes, which did cost them a round or allowed last minute to snowball at least. I think we did see Nomad die there once. Am I correct?
Yeah, you are correct.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt his KD.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna go ahead and take a 3-minute break here, folks. We'll be right back with some more gameplay for you guys, and thanks for tuning in. Make sure you come back here in 3 minutes. We'll see you guys.
3 minutes. Is this gonna cut out, or?
I mean, hey, we can keep yapping about the stats if we're still live here.
Cool.
Hello and welcome back to an amazing time that we're having here, watching some good gameplay out of some of these players of last minute. Again, I want to see some more stuff like that, man. That was so much fun to watch. And if you didn't catch this last game, we got a really good ones on our hands. Frogs versus Last Minute. Last Minute takes the game 7-3, and I think it was a really concise victory over Frogs in terms of the player quality and their ability to just go in and swing and take everybody's heads off. And Frogs again, they have some really good players, but when you're getting swung like that and you don't have any options and you're getting suffocated out of every map, it's just really hard to win. We saw a 2v4 out of them, but you're gonna have to do more of that to beat this Last Minute team because they're looking really good. Roach, Photon, a lot of other good high quality players that we're seeing come to life here. And yeah, it's been really nice to watch, and I want to see what's going to change here in this next match because it's a best of 3, so Frog still has a chance to swing it back in their way. But yeah, I'm unsure, man. What do you think, Troy?
Muted. Apologies, I was muted.
All good.
Yeah, like you said, Frogs can really pull it off if they really try to, but Last Minute is just way more consistent in what they do. I haven't seen any major mistakes that they made. It's just go in, execute the plan, and shoot the enemies in the head. Go fast,
Exactly.
which I definitely like. The castle play was beautifully executed, completely turned the roles on who is actually defending and who is attacking. Yeah,
And it shows
really
you
can't say
exactly
anything negative.
Yeah, and if we want to go into it a little bit deeper too, I mean the little mistakes from Frogs was a little bit surprising. Like you said, when we were on what's the map with the patio up front where that Molly went out, and they were actually denying themselves from defending their own bomb.
Yeah,
That was just a really sketchy play on Killdome, and it's really hard for any team to go in here and expect to be 100% on every play. But man, you got to be really concise with some of this utility if you're expecting to take down a team like Last Minute. And the stats prove it. Like we said last week, we saw some of these players like Roach really pop off and show us what they could do. And now you got a player like Photon who's also looking really good this week.
Yeah, definitely. Nomad, Roach, Photon, all of those are on top of the leaderboards as well. I think Nomad's flawless KD has been tainted by this match, but I wasn't expecting anything else realistically. Not dying to a team like Frogs is now impossible. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be another great match, maybe way closer. The teams have kind of been able to warm up to each other. They know each other a bit better, what their plays are, how they're gonna play. So now it's a clean slate, and Frogs can try again.
Another player too that I haven't actually touched on is Sinister is also on that Last Minute team. He's back in here actually. It looks like he's back in trading out for Photon.
Oh, very interesting.
Interesting sub. And he was going absolutely disgusting last week as well. And yeah, that could be really scary. And again, Nomad is again, this whole team has shooters on it. And Frogs does too, but man, it's gonna be hard. And this Killdome map is really open-ended, I think, for both teams. It really goes in terms of what kind of map space can be taken control, and we're seeing a lot of lines being drawn from beach up into base. What would you do here, Troy, if you were the attackers?
Ooh, jungle would be a nice push, getting those castle gates, actually being able to push into castle. Pit seems to me like a death trap. Yes, you could go for the lights, but moving through those fiery catwalks whilst being shot at from castle is just very dangerous. If you secure beach and go through the water in jungle, you can actually hug the wall really close, maybe stay out of fire lines. But honestly, in my opinion, the best option would just blowing the red door into jungle. That's exactly what they're gonna do. Go for castle, go fast. The defenders are probably gonna set up very much in jungle as well. There's no reason for them to be in beach or base. They might be able to shoot at beach, but any defender in pit, base, or beach is pretty much just dead.
Yeah, that's a really hard area of the map to hold, and especially Castle here again. Unlike every time that we see the defense kind of pull out all the stops, Castle seems to be the main point of contention. And actually, it looks like that door on jungle is getting opened up right away, and the attack is pushing in quick, but Nomad actually gets killed for it, and the defense is holding it down. Frogs saying something about all the trash talk that we've been hearing here on the cast, mostly from me. Yeah, it looks like it's already a 3v5.
The attackers might have brought a little bit too little utility to actually successfully push him.
The trades are actually going in favor of the attack.
Oh, that's the gunplay we've been
Sinister
talking
and
about.
Jack get rewarded. The gunplay, exactly. And Roach and Sinister are still alive. These two players, and Jack actually kind of popping off a little bit too. And the jungle control is completely seceded. One's puts it up on the jungle waters and Castle, as well as Pit. So the defense is kind of strung out here. You're gonna have to be a little bit careful though.
Castle door. Very interesting, since the button is right there.
And there's plenty of time left too. There's a minute left on the clock for this attack to do something about this. And Pit is actually getting stacked up, seceding those waters on jungle. Sinister's clearing it, kind of jiggle peeking it here. Molly goes out on Castle to kind of deny anything, and that might actually be a mistake because I feel like there's still a lot of time left, and if they're not careful, this Pit could become their grave. Roach is actually pushing up in the upper part of Castle though, and actually takes that dynamic. Castle is there, and Sinister can just stick this, and Jack is taking it out 2v2 now. Again, this might not be good. There's no Molly left. It's a 2v2. They gotta get in there.
Push Castle again.
The snipers are nothing against these close range weapons in this situation, and Roach and Sinister holding it down. And Index has something to say about it though, but he doesn't have enough time.
No, that's such a shame.
And Roach, he takes the last one out, and he's actually scavenging through the remains. The graveyard of Castle is an open cache for Roach to pick up whatever he wants here. Good job by last minute to kind of collect themselves there, even after Jack died in Pit. And again, I wonder if that communication came now from Jack saying, hey guys, there's two in Pit. They got long range weapons. Go ahead and just run in there. Start defusing that bomb, you know? They're not going to do anything.
Definitely, these teams communicate really well. Very good start for the defense, but the attackers just regained their momentum and actually, again, captured Castle and made the defenders with their long-range weapons push into Castle, which is not something you want to do. This time, we're on the Kill Dome. Very interesting Kill Dome. I'm not sure. I don't think this map has the blocked red door at Shed, which can be kicked from the outside, weird enough. But I think these are actual proper red doors. The attackers are seemingly opting to cutting their way into checkpoint.
Yeah, and this is going to be actually kind of nice from the attack to open that up, because I think there's actually a lot of areas that you can actually flood in from that spot if you actually cut it open with those wire cutters. Office, bathrooms. There's kind of a weird door though here that's kind of eligible for you to kind of open that up, but I don't think they will. And it looks like a couple of barbed wires are coming out as well this round, Troy.
Yeah, they're being quite frugal with their barbed wires, it seems. One in hallway and one in club. These are probably the two most important ones.
And it looks like we're going to have a tech pause here.
Ooh, what's going on?
We might have to pause for a moment.
Very interesting. Is there a connection issue? Anyway, what we were seeing, they were pushing into the green door. I already forgot what that area is called.
And something that I want to put a spotlight on here on this map is, again, these close range fights are really, really deadly. And I want to see if the attack actually brings out some of those shotguns. Obviously, the attacker side, again, having more health, I actually think it's very favorable to go ahead and take these shotguns on these close range maps and just go ahead and try to fight it out. Or those SMGs, you know, both viable.
There we go.
Definitely. And it looks like the
Yeah,
game's actually back up.
This definitely feels like a shotgun map. Yeah, that's as you said, just like you predicted last minute, takes both of their shotguns. This is going to be a very fast, very aggressive push. I assume they're also going to bring a grenade to clear out some of that barbed wire. And it looks like they want to push through office, which is probably a smart call since kitchen can be an absolute hell to actually get pushed through.
Yeah, kitchen is actually one of my favorite places to play on this map because you have, especially on this specific area, because you actually have a sight line into checkpoint, which is most likely where the attack, like we saw, is probably going to flood into. And that can be a really dangerous area, especially if you have a molly, maybe a shotgun. But no barbed wire coming out towards that area. It looks like they're actually going to opt for stacking it over towards where the bomb's at, which I think that's quite fine. And a little bit of roach glaze coming out on the right side of the map from the attack as they flood out of the car over that text that's down there.
Both teams are taking very little resources with them into this round. It looks like it's just going to be gunplay.
Yeah, and checkpoint is stacked right now with the attack, and they're actually opting not to use a charge to open anything up. And this whole, I don't know if I like this. The defense is actually stacked on crates, and with some of these flashbangs, it's going to be really dangerous if one of those goes out into that crates room. They're pushing in. Jack is posted up on this angle, and Nog is as well, looking for a pick here. Jack looks to be the spearhead. He has a flash and a shotgun, and nothing's going to stand his way. Sinister pushes out. Rock Lee looking for a pick here. Tons of fire going out, but no picks yet. Nog is flank pushing this hallway, though, and get a flank. Index also spraying through the wall. A lot of damage going out in Sinister, as well as Dots. And the round is going to come to a slow standstill here as both teams kind of recollect. Nomad's on the outside of the building. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Crossfires go out. Nog still pushed up this angle. Jack gets absolutely lit up and gets taken out. And Nog's in a really, really good spot right now, I think, Troy.
Nog with the neck. That's nasty. Very nice place.
Dots is getting sprayed through the wall. I don't know how much health he has left for this, and he actually gets killed for it. Roach is also close to this door. They gotta push through. Molly goes down. And Roach dies. Nomad and Sinister left in a 2v5 here. The defense is absolutely strongmanning their way into this round win. 30 seconds left, and I don't think they're gonna have time. Index pushes out, Storm pushes out, Sinister gets traded.
And that's it.
Never mind, Brock takes the kill. The defense looking really nice on that one.
A very clean defense, definitely. We've seen Nog picking the neck before. It's a great SMG, 40 rounds, really high wall bang potential. And they've played it cleanly. Now they've got 4 players who can loot and take their equipment into the next round. Luckily, the attackers didn't bring much of their util, and what they did bring was used. So the defenders aren't as loaded as they'd like to be, but it's 1-1. It's a victory for Frogs, and they get to keep their good weapons.
And that was thought it was kind of silly at first that they didn't have anyone holding that bottom left corner of the map, but I actually think that might have been one of the reasons that won them that round. The unknown is very, very terrifying. And the attack actually was playing a much slower pace. Last minute, a lot slower pace than we've seen from them, because I wonder if they're kind of rethinking what they're doing there. And Nog and the rest of the team on Frogs actually were able to spray through those walls and do a ton of damage to the entire team of last minute. And that's going to be really hard as the defense. Getting rid of that extra health is actually a really viable strat as the defense. Obviously, those walls are made of paper mache. There's nothing really you can do about that unless you have a riot shield. So that was a little rough.
Yeah.
Paused again. I have another tech pause here.
Again.
Wonder what is going on here.
I think it might be, or have something to do with last minute being a all-Australian team. Could this be connection issues for them, or do players need to go to the bathroom?
I was gonna say it might be a little bit problem when you're playing over, giant sea to try to connect to some of these servers to get these games going. But hey, that's what we're here for. The cool thing about this game is we got to see a lot of interesting international teams. For myself, at least, I'm trying to look to put together a NA team for maybe just some scrims, maybe not officials, but just to kind of get some foots in the door and try to see what kind of teams we can kind of come up with. And I'm even willing to play. So hey, while we wait here, if anyone wants to make a little NA team, my DMs are open.
Tetra's gremlins are working on it. I love that.
It looks like there's a lot of little games being played. We got tic-tac-toe. We got a little cat. He said, who up cooking this pizza? Interesting question there.
It's, it's a GIF we've seen in the Discord server more often of a little cat kneading some dough.
I mean, hey, if there's anyone for the job, it's a little cat with his little paws. Am I right? Little toe beans, you know, pushing up the dough. And it actually looks like we're gonna load into this game. So go ahead, Troy. Let's see what they got here. What do you think in terms of the attack? What the strategy looks like?
Yeah, definitely. Office seems like it's bait. I've seen it played plenty of times. People think, oh, free door Office straight into lobby, but it's storefront. I mean, but it's just such a bait play. If that door opens, you just got sidelines for days from storefront. So the defense is actually gonna opt to blow the shutters into storefront, get some long range kills. That's what they're opting for, at least. They got some black tars, semi-automatic high damage weapons, whilst the defenders have their shotguns, including an auto shotgun.
Yeah, and the Molly goes out to actually slow them on entrance, as there's not really much they can do there, but Jack actually takes Tellers with Nomads. Last minute pushing up on the single dynamic. Gets absolutely destroyed. Stormy on a close angle with the auto shotgun, but he might not be able to be rewarded with it quite yet. Dots posted up on entrance here. And there's 3 on entrance pushing in, taking the space concisely. Stormy gets taken out. Auto shotgun does nothing. Nog and Freezer, Broccoli and storefront. Index on the bomb. Index spraying, looking for some kills, can't get anything. Jack gets killed. Broccoli pushing in with the shotgun. Dots gets traded out. Nomad pushing in. Index looking for a kill, but Nomad actually takes him out. And Nog's the only one left. And Freezer, he might not be able to say anything about this. This round might be over. Bomb getting defused. And yeah, there we see last minute again. So concise in these attacks. Very nice gunplay from last minute.
Yeah, the defenders place a lot of flares. I'm wondering who took out the lights, because it's quite deep into storefront. Did you actually see if the attackers or defenders took it out? Because it definitely worked in the attackers' favors here.
I'm not actually quite sure. It was very slow at first, giving up that teller space, but I wonder if that was a mistake. Sometimes that auto shotgun right off the rip, if you can hold those close angles, is really big, but he wasn't rewarded for it, and losing that gun is really, really unfortunate, but we might be getting switched over here, I believe. 3 rounds have passed, so yeah, we're going to switch sides.
Very interesting. Last minute is ahead. It's 2-1. I think Frogs is going to opt for the same attack as last minute did, pushing into jungle.
Troy, if you were in the call right now with Frogs, what would you be trying to tell them right now to try to figure out some of these rounds where they're just losing some of these gunfights? I mean, I know it really does come down to aim, but what else would you be telling them to try to pick this up here, Troy?
I actually don't know. I think they've got a whole lot more experience than I do. But if I were to give my 2 cents, it's definitely to push in fast. It's exactly what last minute has been doing, making a plan, keeping to that plan, pushing fast, and using your utility smart. I don't even know if they used all their utility last round, because they went quite cheaply the second and last round. Very curious to see what they're gonna take this time around. The defenders could very well hold it, like last minute did first round. Frogs seems to be opting for beach instead, which, if they can sneak past castle, gives them very, very much potential, because they can secure towers from close range. But if they get hauled out at pit, that's tough. That's going to be difficult. They're actually going to use a wall or door charge on the green door in castle, which is
interesting,
to preemptively blow any of the barbed wire there. But I don't think the defenders are actually going to barbed wire the green door into pit.
Yeah, so this actually might be a huge waste of util here if that is actually the plan. And another thing I want to call attention to here is, again, we have these aimers on some pretty nasty weapons on the defense, and this could be very dangerous for Frogs. Pushing beach is going to be the play here.
Yeah, what I find dangerous is that they're going to does take the Clacker that deep into the map, all the way to Castle, which means that if they lose it, it's not outside. The defenders can just take it from them.
Yeah, it's free game for them to get all over that and take it. And yeah, the attack is actually pushing pretty quick, though. They might be taking a page out of last minute's book here. Playing very fast in the pit, and they actually hear that. Roach hears the call, and he's getting on that door looking for some fights here. They're posted up on the top of pit 2. Index gets killed. Last minute gets rewarded with the first kill of the game.
They have nothing for that barbed wire. The attackers have absolutely nothing to take that out.
The Clacker's still with them, and that charge as well. This is a big investment. And there's a lot of people posted up on the staircase, but the mollies could start coming out soon, slowing the round to a standstill. They haven't used it yet. Lights go up as well. It's going to make it even more interesting. The Clacker actually gets a kill.
Yes, I saw that.
They're turning the tides, but Amali goes out, and Stormy's trying to defuse, but Amali's on him. He's dead. No one else is pushing in. Frog lead.
And the defenders can't push in because of the molly.
2v3 here. Attackers have Castle, but maybe only for a short period of time. Nomad's posted on it. He knows about it. He pushes in. Isn't able to be rewarded off it, and they're going to defuse. Team Frogs goes absolutely insane and gets rewarded for it using that Clacker, like we talked about, to their advantage.
Yeah.
Troy, I really loved what we saw there.
That was absolutely beautiful. Like, all of the defenders were perched up in jungle. They had absolutely no idea that they were gonna push through a beach. There was, I didn't see who it was, but somebody was waiting with a shotgun behind that green door, waiting for it to get kicked down, but instead they used a charge. There was no barbed wire, but that's definitely a charge well used. And then the defenders molotoved their entrance, or maybe the attacker secured one, I didn't see, but that molly was really, really bad for the defenders there. Incredible play. There's absolutely nothing I can comment on. Very, very, yeah, just straight up outplayed.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about it too. With some of these players with having a lot of experience, I think they're starting to catch on to some of the tendencies of the enemy team. And like we said, Frog taking a page out of last minute's book and using it against them, turning the tide, pushing in fast, and being concise with their plays. And again, it looks like the attack is actually going to maybe use a wall charge here onto that northern part of the map on Office.
Ooh, that would mean they're out of util, and they still have one round to go, which means that on the last map they have to go a green door. Is that something they want to do?
This might be a good investment, though. I like the idea that Frogs has here, because honestly, the momentum is now in your favor, and if you can just push it and get that next round and pull up with your team and just go crazy, I mean, there's nothing much you can do, you know, as the defense. You wasted just so much util that last round. Again, another thing we can talk about, those mollies being used last round are pretty much for nothing now, and the defense is actually probably going to look to try to hop on some of these other weapons we don't see too much. But again, still some good weaponry. Auto shotgun coming out.
Yeah, the defenders are defending with shotguns, auto shotguns. The attackers are taking lots of smoke, shotgun and SMGs. It looks like they're trying to do the same push the last minute did last round, going through checkpoint, ignoring kitchen altogether, because that's very difficult to push through as an attacker. And they use...
Oh my gosh. That spooked me out a little bit.
What? What did you see?
Oh, sorry. Something on my VOD just came out. That was a little spooky.
Ooh.
And it looks like the attack is kind of going to spread out this northern part of the map, and Nog is actually posted up on a good spot on the northern side.
It looks like Frog is once again going to wall or door charge a green door, which I like their strats, like taking out the barbed wire, but Dot is perched up high, and can he...
And Nog doesn't know about it. Dot gets rewarded for it.
2 kills, beautiful ambush. Oh no, that's why you check that corner. Last minute did check it last round, but Frogs didn't this time around. That was such a misplay. They should have checked their corners before entering.
Yeah, nasty plays there. And Jack is actually gonna
And now
try to
they're getting picked off.
reposition here and with the auto shotgun. But I think this is pretty much over for the attack. These shotguns are so strong in these positions. They're not might be anything they can do about it. And the defense is actually repositioning correctly. Conceding parts of the map, holding the crossfires.
I think it's important to secure the clacker and door charge at this point and just call it quits. They didn't check the corner. They were punished for it, and now it's just going to be a matter of getting picked off one by one. The defenders don't have any utility to take into next round. They do have the
Broccoli
auto
getting
shotgun,
killed.
but oh
Yeah.
no! Where did he get killed? Inside?
Yeah, he was trying to. I don't know what he was trying to do. I would have just backed up and saved what you can, and Stormy's the only one that
Does-
gets out.
Do the defenders manage to find the clacker? I don't think.
I
no.
don't think they're gonna find it.
Good. Okay, so they have one clacker left, I believe, which is plenty for the next round, and they have a door charge and a wall charge. So they are still set up with utility to make a successful push, but can they actually manage to conjure up the courage after that? I wouldn't say humiliating, but
It was pretty rough, man. I'm not gonna lie.
that was rough.
That was a little rough, man. They had no space there, and again, that's what we kind of see when you don't go for some of those red doors and you don't have access. Some of these maps are so difficult to do anything
Yeah.
about.
First time when last minute actually was on the attack, you saw the one person with the SMG actually peeking very sharply into that top left corner, and I was wondering, could there seriously be a person standing up there? No way, right? Well, there can be a person standing up there apparently, and Frogs felt it.
Yeah, that was honestly a little rough. There's really not much to do there. Again, I'm kind of surprised that the Frogs were still trying to go in and try to find kills when there was really nothing left to be done, and Stormy was the only
Yeah.
one that got out back to the vehicle trying to save what he could.
Yeah, that was a good play. The door charge definitely helps. It seems like they might want to be doing a split push into Teller and Entrance, which I like. If the defender's not going to be barbing up Teller and actually giving that away, that just allows Entrance to be opened up. Keep in mind that there is a very nasty little hole into Teller that looks straight onto that door, so pushing that is going to be quite difficult. Both teams have plenty of utility. The defenders are going to maybe even turn off the lights. Do they know that the attackers have no more night vision? Is that why they're stocking up on flares?
Yeah,
This-
this is an interesting investment here, and there's some long-range weapons actually in play. Roach and Nomad on some longer-range weapons on some of these angles, looking for Entrance to be blown open. But it actually looks like Teller's is going to be opened up by Frogs.
They actually left the auto shotgun behind. They still have it, but they haven't taken it with them this round. Instead, opting for a sniper, the mob. Very interesting on C-Store.
Yeah, that is an interesting decision here, and the attack is kind of going at a slow pace here, trying to be concise, and Molly actually goes down on Entrance as well as it's opened up. And again, Roach can be very dangerous on this angle at the top of the map here with the sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
An Entrance is actually going to be slowly pushed into with that right shield, and Nog and Dynamic actually pushing it. Frogs want to push the pace, but Dots has something to say, but it absolutely shuts Dynamic down, and it gets traded back. Nog is posted up on this angle now with the shotgun left, wondering what to do, and Nomad's got a nasty crossfire here on the Freezer. Sinister running around like a madman in storefront trying to find something, but Broccoli takes him out. 4v3 advantage of Frogs, and now it's a 3v3. Or 4, sorry, excuse me. 4v2 here.
Yeah.
Jack's running around like a chicken with his head cut off, looking for something. Nomad also in Freezer, looking for something. Nog's trying to push him though. And Nomad, he can't do anything, and Stormy's in the bomb. Jack's the only one left, but he might just save this here. Conceding the round. They absolutely choked them out, and yeah, I don't think Jack's gonna be able to do anything about this here. He's shut out. The round's over here, Troy.
Wow. I think the defenders definitely played it well with Jack having night vision, the attackers having no night vision, and actually turning off the lights, flaring it up. But then they made a decision to take long and mid-range weapons like the Ingmar instead of their shotguns and auto shotgun, which they still had. And on such a map, you just saw what the attackers did with their shotguns. It's just not. It's just not
that
the
might
right
have been
play.
a huge. Yeah, that might have been a huge mistake not to actually opt for the short range weapons on the defense. We saw the sniper rifle come out, which again, I think is a little bit questionable with the amount of utility that the attack has in terms of smokes, cutting off those sight lines, and they just weren't able to punish the attack on that. Frogs able to take a round and tie things up here in our semifinal game. Frogs versus Last Minute, 3-3. Last
Very
Minute's
exciting.
up 1 in the match total. But yeah, we're seeing these teams being pushed.
We're back on Factory with Pipeworks. That fan, that's a nasty fan. If the attackers manage to get through that fan and get onto Pipeworks, they get so many unexpected angles. It's very dangerous. But the defenders can also hold it quite easily by just pointing an SMG at the fan, and first time somebody peeks, he dies because of slicing the pie, you know. So the attackers are actually gonna opt for cutting the fence and going through green doors. That does give them quite a bit of rotation, and walking through Toxic isn't the worst because there's only one door which they can realistically peek out of, and even that isn't a great peek. Going for the lights, which might prove very advantageous on such a long-range map, especially if you have night vision goggles. With a black tar, you can just look into office and whatnot, and they can't see you. It's literally just a one-way fight.
Yeah, and I think on Factory, that's always a good idea as the attack to try to get to that switch and turn off those lights and utilize those night vision goggles, which I honestly think it could be good on any map, right, Troy? But honestly, on this map, it's probably the strongest, in my opinion. And if it can be utilized correctly, man, there's some nasty stuff you can do. And it actually looks like the attack Frogs is going to opt to go for some shorter range weaponry here. A lot of SMGs coming out this round, and they're kind of flooding to the southern part of the map, maybe getting ready to open up docks.
Yeah, they all got night vision goggles and SMGs, so it looks like they are really going for that close rush in and just mow them down. They look to be going
actually they're
through
pivoting
fan as well.
Yeah, interesting plays here, and Dynamics actually posted up holding that fan as his 3 teammates go over there, and Index is still in the car. I wonder what that's about. Maybe interesting. Index is not going to be in play here.
Fence is cut. Are they gonna get to the lights? Ooh, somebody is in Toxic, ready with a Molotov. That's a great Molotov.
The Molotov goes out. Yeah, that's great. And actually puts Stormy in a corner, and he's not actually taking any damage from it, just dodging it.
But that's gonna delay the push at docks as well. They're probably waiting for the lights to be cut, or they're gonna make the fans, I mean, or they're gonna make the rest decision to push fans while lights are still up, which is not ideal.
Yeah, and if you actually look at the server farm area of the map, Index is actually already in pushing the pace, and Nomad hears it. Brock Lee's getting absolutely lit up on this crossfire, though. Docks is a shooting ground for both teams. Stormy's swinging in, looking for something, but he can't be rewarded. Dynamic is also up on the pipes, looking for a kill. Nog and Brock Lee in Toxic.
The fan is off. Is the Saber gonna get some kills?
He's getting rewarded here on the right side of the map. But he can't do anything. He's all alone now. The rest of his team failed to do anything and give him time to actually complete that lurk and get rewarded for it. And now he's backed up in server farms. Probably needs to save here or just go for kills, and he might opt to pick up this weapon. The Nomad drop, pushing in to the Docks area of the map, shooting through that window. Actually gets another kill. Docks is behind him though, and he can't do anything about it. Roach is gonna absolutely drop him to the ground and put him in his grave 6 feet under.
Very nice wall bang. The defenders played it really well. That delay at Toxic was exactly what they needed. They couldn't do anything at fans with the lights still on and the fans still spinning. So yeah, and by the time the lights were off, 2 players were looking at fans, and in such a crossfire you can't come out victorious.
Yeah, Troy, I think the timing was Yeah, well played. And the timing was just a little bit off from Frogs there. I saw the vision that Index had pushing up
Hmm.
on those stairs into that office space, and actually could have probably got rewarded for two there if his team just slowed down a little bit in Toxic. But again, it's really hard in these matches when you go up against some of these better teams, and you're not going to be able to get away with that naughty stuff here on these maps against the semifinals teams. And last minute again, looking like a titan in this tournament.
Yeah, and this is a classic. Haven't we seen this one before? Is this the second time this is being played? This
Yeah, it is.
Well, there you go. It's a very popular map. Very often you'll see this come about in the rotation. Are the attackers gonna blow into servers like last minute did, or are they gonna opt for accounting, which is a very, very dangerous area to push? Ooh, seeing what I'm seeing, it looks like an accounting push. Is that gonna be a mistake, Quinn? What do you think?
Well, the barbed wire is set up there, and like I said, I'm always a little scared of that when I'm playing in my games. And Sinister is actually the one that's going to be putting down two of those. There's actually a big investment going out towards accounting. And again, you got to watch out because if that charge blows up, it actually will destroy that close barbed wire as long as it's not too close. It might get away with it. Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about the attack going in that way. I actually like to open up entrance on this map because I feel like it gives you a lot of options and directions to go. And yeah, this round could be a little silly here if they do decide to go through accounting. Frogs again looking like they can go either way on these attack rounds, looking either really good or looking a little bit silly, Troy, like we saw last round. So I want to see what they can do here. Stormy, Nog letting out of the truck, going towards that accounting part of the map, and it looks like that charge is going to be put down. Nog with the clacker.
Frogs is getting a second chance.
Yeah, and it actually looks like they didn't opt to put down the barbed wire over there. I wonder where else they invested it. The auto shotgun getting invested in this round as well. Entrance getting opened up. Nomad on the angle. And Stormy again on that nasty angle that we've seen a lot on the dumpster. Nog close on accounting. Looking like he wants to peek it, but he's not quite sure. Knows the roach is close, and it's getting flashbanged out. Brock Lee pushing in. And the crossfires are going crazy. Sinister laying down fire. And there's 4 now in accounting. They gotta be concise, but Roach is here. He wants to do something about it. Brock Lee gets killed. Sinister gets treated out. Roach on the angle. He's looking for a kill, but he's in the middle of them. Nog is whiffing. He's whiffing. Roach, what are you doing? He's running away. Roach is conceding that whole part of the map here, Troy, and he said, I had enough. I'm full. The rest of my team can eat. We might have this round in the bag. Index and Nog are running to try to find some kills. A minute left on the... Oh, and Index actually kills him. 2v2 here, actually.
2v2, but we do have an auto shotgun in servers, and very little util to actually deal with it. Oh,
Ooh,
Jet
nasty
gets to
shot.
Ingmars.
Jack with a nasty shot on the long angles with that weapon, and again, we've seen some nasty stuff out of Jack in the series. That was a fun round.
Well played. Yeah. Wow.
I just want to give credit to Roach real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but dude, he was in a crazy situation, and Nog whiffed quite a bit of shots on him. That was a little goofy.
Very interesting. Frogs tried it again, couldn't get through accounting. Jack hoarded up. Dodd is actually swapping out his auto shotgun for the big AK, which is probably going to be more advantageous on Kildome. Very, very well played. The attackers lost a nade, door charge, but they can live without that. So yeah, another win for last minute, keeping some of their utility. And on Kildome, the attackers seem to want to be blowing into jungle through pit. I've seen this before. It's a very interesting play, but jungle has that little tower perched up, overseeing bomb, which is very difficult to push in through if you do blow pit. It would be something else, something we haven't seen before, so I'm very curious, but it looks like they rather opt for taking castle.
Yeah, look at the
which
south side of Castle. Look at all these pings coming out for smokes, flashes, exclamation marks going down to call some attention to this friendly attack. So a big play coming out from Frogs. This is do or die here. They're down a couple
yeah,
rounds from being able to actually win this map. And they got to show up right now. They got to show us what they have left in the tank. This is a long series, especially when you're used to best of ones. A best of 3 makes your day a little bit longer here for Frogs.
definitely lots of utility coming out. It's the last round for Frogs attacking. Very interesting. They are torching their own castle gate. I haven't seen that one before.
I've never
Does he-
seen that either.
Oh, he doesn't have enough fuel. No. Very interesting. I wonder what the play for that is, but very cool to see. Lots of utility for Frogs. They're going to be blasting into castle, tossing a lot of smokes, a lot of flashbangs, pushing in fast.
Ooh, and Sinister needs to back up here. There's a lot of utility being dropped, and Nog is actually rotating underneath the bottom side of the map and actually deciding to team up with Dynamic and Brock Lee on this east side of the map push. And it looks like
Stormy-
Index and Stormy were slowed down by Molly.
Yeah, Stormy taking early damage from that door charge and the clacker the defenders had secured.
And look
She's
at Roach's
lucky
position.
Come out alive.
And Stormy gets taken out by Sinister, and Sinister backs up. Nog's actually repositioning back to the other side of the map, and the attack is actually installed deep in pit, and they're gonna swing Roach here. He's got to be careful. He's got his back turned. The 3v4 now for the 3v3. Dynamic gets traded out.
4v2.
Lee's on this
Oh, and he's
interesting
missing
angle.
his shotguns. No, he missed 3 shotguns.
Dots! You gotta hit those dots. What are you
Come
doing?
on.
Nog just got out like a lucky man. He better count his numbers because now he's gonna be in for a tall task. A 1v4 is in the cards now for him. Very low HP. I don't think he can do it here. This round is gonna be over here pretty quick, and the defense is looking for that last kill on Nog.
Yeah, he's one, maybe 2 shot. Yeah, there we go.
And again, I want to call attention real quick. Sorry, Troy, but Nog was rotating underneath the map twice to go back and forth, and I'm not sure what he's doing there, man. You gotta be considerate of your teammates' timing and wanting to go in and make that push after the mollies go out, and that was just a little bit silly, Troy.
Yeah, definitely agree. The attacker should probably have grabbed a few shotguns, just flashed it and rushed into castle. Those rotates underneath the map. Definitely not something I would have done or recommend, really.
I mean, mid-round too, that's kind of rough
Yeah.
when your team is looking to make those plays and push in. And again, you got to be on the same page here. And that's a little rough. That's a little rough, I'm not going to lie.
I understand pushing in with a black tar that close into castle is scary, but I think that would have been the better play. Nog also missing 4 shotgun rounds. That I don't know how many lives I think it was Dodd has, but I think he lost a few that round.
Yeah, that was the 9 lives of a cat coming down to almost 0 there, but they were able to make it out there and win the round. And again, last minute, I think, looks like a juggernaut in this tournament. I think they are, at this point, my favorite to win the whole thing. I really like what I'm seeing out of them and their ability to kind of adapt to these rounds in and out, all the weaponry. I mean, there's been a couple questionable rounds. Obviously, Frog does have 3 rounds in this part of the match. But yeah, I think it's a little disappointing to see some of these plays coming out from Frogs. Again, you got to be on the same page, and this is their last chance to try to tie it up and bring it to another match for this best of 3. But I don't know if they could do it. I don't know if there's enough fuel in the tank, if there's enough ideas cooking up in the kitchen from the cook. But we'll see what happens here, Troy.
Definitely. Let's not make it another 7-3. Frogs does seem to be cooking something. That wall charge into the catwalks is going to open up some angles. Very curious to see that. Defenders seem to be stacking up in office, which is definitely a play. One person holding Toxic, or at least trying to hold Toxic. The attackers have lots of utility, whilst I think the defenders are running quite short. They brought 2 Molotovs, one going out already. Oh no, one being dropped, given to Index, and one flare, whilst the attackers have plenty of flashbangs and smokes.
Yeah, and
Dot seems AFK. Is he alright?
Yeah. Okay, he's moving now. He's doing something. And the server farms looks to be the target of last minute to finish out this game. The whole part of
Are we
server
gonna get a
farms is being
snipe from
conceded.
Dynamic? I don't
Index
think the
is posted
attackers
up
are
in this
going.
office.
Yeah, I don't think the attackers are going fan at all. Ooh,
Yeah.
Storm is the idea to molly the attackers right as they try and blow into Catwalk. Very
Oh,
smart.
and there goes the molly. It's out. Yeah, and it's going to slow them down to a slow pace, but I'm not sure if the attackers really understand that there's that many players there, and you actually see Sinister rotating over, trying to hold this other side of the map as this team waits for this molly to go down so they can actually push Office fast. And Roach might be the first one in here. As we said, we've talked about his aim all day. Jack also there, ready to push in. Index knows, though. They know that this is the next point of contention. And the wall gets blown up with a wall charge, and they get pushed off the angle. The attack takes control of Office. Push back into some really uncomfortable positions, but Jack gets killed. Roach is now in Office, looking for control of the map, looking for map space. Nomad also pushes on to Catwalk, and Nog cannot stand the might of last minute. They're pushing in, wanting to take this to the match point and win the round, and they can't stand up to it. Frogs gets absolutely obliterated. They cannot stand up to the Titans of last minute.
Yeah, that's definitely. Yep.
That is so rough. That is so rough, man.
Storm with the Molotovs a bit too early for my feeling. There was still barbed wire there, and they weren't like flashing in. So why toss the Molotov right there and then? They could have at least waited until the flashbangs were coming out. The wall charge, very well played, caught definitely one defender off guard. And after that, they just flooded in Office, and once they secured Office, flooding in Docks, defenders just didn't know what happened. The entire defense just crumbled.
Yeah, and again, I'd like to say, you know, good try to Frogs. They, you know, really put their best effort forward, but when you're standing up against a team like that, it's going to be hard to just do anything there. And honestly, 3 rounds isn't bad against them. I think there's a lot of things that you could say that they probably improved on from last week, and I liked a couple of the ideas coming out that they were trying to cook up, but I think there was too many chefs in the kitchen there. Like I said, I think it was a little bit overcooked on some of these rounds. Like you said, Molly going out early, team not being on the same page with some of these pushes, but last minute is so concise with these pushes and these picks going out left and right and pushing forward, not giving the enemy team any time to think. It's very overwhelming, Troy.
Yeah, definitely. The second round, they came out quite strong, and actually was a 3v3. They held on, they fought back, but the last 4 just absolutely crumbled in front of last minute. Photon getting switched out for Syndicate, I believe. Didn't really make a change to the outcome, it seems.
Yeah.
Very well played by last minute, and of course for Frogs, like even holding out 3 rounds, that's an accomplishment. These are really, really good teams.
Yeah, they did their best. They did their best to put up a fight, man, but again, it's not enough for the might of them. Anyways, guys, there's going to be another match today. I believe that does, you know, complete our best of 3 here. Last minute, taking it 2-0. Schedule for the rest of the day here coming up. We're going to have another match here soon. And let's see what the schedule actually holds for us. Can you see here, Troy, what match we got next today?
I can't see, but I remember we got Arise versus Cream Dream.
Ooh, a little bit of a saucy one there.
Yeah, I personally haven't seen Cream Dream play yet, because I have to admit I don't watch every single match of the DPL, even though I should.
It's all right.
But Arise, these are also 2 very big teams, especially Arise with some very famous names. We'll see who comes out on top, but
yeah, that's going to be a really nice match to watch. Yeah, place your bets. And another thing we want to remind you guys to do is go over to Steam and go ahead and check out Due Process. It's the game we've been watching here today. Again, it's on sale. It's on a good price. Go ahead and pick it up today and jump into a game with some friends. We'd really enjoy to, have a couple of new additions to the community. And who knows? Maybe in a couple months, you and your friends are feeling up to get into DPL League and team up against some of these giants like last minute if you can even get there. We're also going to go ahead and jump right into a break. Thank you, Troy, for jumping on the cast with me. It's been a great game to watch with you, and I hope we can jump into some games tomorrow as well for our finals match. So, yeah, Troy.
It's very
Good
fun.
time.
It's been great talking to you, Quinn.
Good talking to you too, man. All right, we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back with more Due Process later for everybody.
See ya.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another match of Due Process League. It's gonna be Cream versus Arise. What do you think of the teams, Zoe?
I gotta be straight with you. I don't know a lot about them. I am. Let me look at the players though, because that's what I very well may know. I am a unranked rat. That's where I live in this game.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
see.
definitely. These players can be
Zigalo
fun.
on Arise. I'm fairly certain I've played against that person before.
Yeah.
These are
Arise has
no
many
doubt
good
all
names.
players with. Yeah, I was gonna say these are no doubt players who know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned, Zigalo, Lacking, Brody, Juker, Noon. I've played against all these people. We've seen them play. They just straight up go for your head.
We got Cream Dream on the other side. That's going to be JKGG95, Cohen, Nightmare, Cam, Cuckoo. I'm assuming these last two are the subs. Is that listed in order? I don't even know.
I don't know either.
All right,
but
we'll
got
find
Gate
out
Corp
once we
and
see the
Kazu Corp.
rosters. Yeah.
Definitely. I haven't actually heard of many of the players on Cream Dream, so I'm very curious to see where they stand. They've made it into third place as of right now, according to start.gg, versus Arise. Arise has many big names. I'm very curious to see if Cream Dream is gonna hold up to Arise.
Yeah,
this
Arise seems like
match.
people who are maybe more established in the DPL as I try to adjust my headset without being too crooked here. Yeah, it's nice to be here, by the way. This will be my first time casting this game. I play the game under my name, Zoe Bars. I go by, my name's Jake. I'm not hiding anything. But that's my internet handle. And very excited to just get into watching some matches and seeing what kind of ways these players dissect these maps. Right? This game is
definitely.
so fun in the regard of setting up matters so much. That like minute time of staring at the map is some of the most important time you can use in this game.
Yeah, I've actually talked with Quinn before about learning new strats from these players. These players actually set the meta of how the game is played, essentially. We've seen crazy plays of people hiding up on closets, in corners. Last match even, Lacking versus Frogs. Not Lacking, Last Minute versus Frogs. Last Minute actually hiding up on a checkpoint or patio and just completely catching Frog off guard, who just didn't check the corner and didn't know there was somebody with a shotgun hiding.
It's funny how at a high level, very much a part of this game is just staring at the map and saying, what is the most broken thing we can do, right? Like that is, obviously we want the maps to be balanced and we want attack and defense to be balanced in a way that leads to something roughly around a 50-50, but both sides are trying to do the most broken thing they can do on each map.
Definitely. Just getting every advantage you can, and I don't blame them, honestly.
Yeah, that's the fun of the game, right? When you find that perfect little wall, wall charge moment, or just like even the best like angles that you can get off of like, I don't know, a torch. Torch underutilized in a lot of regular Due Process gameplay. I love trying to find sneaky things to do with it.
We've seen some great torch play at last minute, really well used to torch. Pretty much every single thing that's torchable has been torched last round.
That's one thing I'm excited to see in these matches. Very much so.
Definitely. Yeah. What was I gonna say? I'm just gonna say I'm gonna agree with you on every point there. It's very interesting to see how they play, how they set up. Right. The game, it's a shooter, so of course, like being able to aim is important. But more critically, I think most of the skill actually comes from knowing the map, knowing how to play it, but also knowing your enemy and actually preparing for what you think they're gonna do.
And then also being able to communicate in the moment and switch those things up on the fly, right? Learning rotates is something you have to do almost on a literally a map by map basis in this game. And obviously those who play it enough will know that you do play the same maps more than once. But when you're getting to know the game, when you're getting to kind of like master some of the skills that are unique to this game, one is simply that in your head visualization of the map, because it's not the same every time. And being able
Definitely.
to visualize rotates, you know, that need to occur mid-match in case something doesn't line up the way you thought it was going to is another like huge skill that I think this game really like cultivates in a player that some other games with static maps, it's a lot easier to kind of figure that stuff out.
Yeah, no, the communication is crazy as well. When you're attacking, especially, like planning one thing, you know, making a plan, saying we're gonna toss these flashbangs here, the smoke there is one thing, but actually following up on that, and when shit hits the fan, just to say, you need to actually follow through with that. And when somebody dies and actually plays an important part, like he couldn't get his flashbang out or he couldn't get his smoke out, how do you adapt to that? Like, follow plan. Anyway,
Exactly.
We're playing Due Process today. If you're curious about picking it up, or if you're interested, you can download it at Steam or dueprocess.info. Great shooter, would love to have you here. I've got a heads up that we're gonna start our first game soon of Arise versus Cream Dream.
Wonderful.
This is one I've been looking forward to. Definitely.
I just popped out chat too, so I will have chat up while we're watching.
Hey, nice. I sadly don't. I've only got one monitor, like a simpleton. But
Oh, we gotta
you'll be
work on
my
that.
eyes. You'll be my eyes and
Absolutely.
ears for this one.
I have many windows going now.
Great to hear it. Looks like, yes, the teams are in. Everybody is here.
Okay, excellent.
There we go. Like we mentioned, we've got Arise with Sigalo, Noon, Juker, Lekking, and Sachi, with Cream Dream as Jet, Cohen, Kate, Orb, Jin and Jerry, there we go, and JKGG95.
Yeah. Yin and Jerry is an interest. I guess that's like I don't even know what that is. A reference to, rather.
Yeah, I
It
don't.
reminds me of gin and juice, but we'll see.
Might be. Also lovely to see Jet actually playing Cream Dream. That's very fun to see Jet for it. He's one of the people responsible for having the DPL up and running.
Oh, very cool.
And
Back
then,
in
of
the
course, Arise.
back in the prior days, DPL was always something I kept my eye on and did not participate in. So it's actually really nice to just get this chance that things are back.
Yeah, I've actually heard that Quinn is setting up a NA team. So maybe if you're curious, you could join his. Maybe we'd have a casters team, you know, made out of only DPL casters.
Hey, I could sub.
That'd be pretty funny, actually. But let's see what the first map is gonna be. It's always an exciting moment. Is it gonna be a attacker or defender favored map? How are they gonna play it?
And we're playing standard ranked rounds, is that correct?
Yep, definitely. We're
First
playing
to 7.
Yeah, best of 7, or
Okay.
best till to 7. I think
Yeah.
it's 15 rounds total then, or best of 15. Right. Best of 15, definitely. Last round we saw last minute win 7-3 twice in a row, because we're gonna be playing regular ranked, but we're not gonna be playing one ranked match like we've done in the previous streams. We're actually gonna be playing best of 3 matches won. So to win a match, it's best of 15.
That's right.
And then to win this round, it's best of 3. They need to win a lot. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, these matches could last a while if things are even, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We got some people in the chat predicting 14-1.
14-1.
14-0.
14-0. Who knows? That'd be very interesting. It's definitely a possibility. 14-0. Another possibility is that they just keep tying and we have to go in overtime continuously, and it's gonna take ages. but we'll see. These are teams that know what they're doing.
All right, we are queued. We are in.
Very interesting. This one we've seen before in an earlier part. It's the Omid map, right? The very confusing kill dome with a very weird beach and base. Well, how do you like to play this one?
Let's take a look here. I'm so used to the gray view on maps. My eyeballs are processing right now, like in real time.
Yeah. I usually play with gray as well, but
oh, this is such an odd map. I've only seen this played I've only played this myself like once, I think.
Yeah.
So we have the opportunity to get in for free. Oh, I so want to use my arrow keys to move around the map right now. This is like my actually playing the game brain is kicking in.
Oh, hey.
Oh, this is, oh my god, shout outs to production.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we do have this free door that brings us into a pretty wide and interesting jungle, but castle is a hugely advantageous hold, right? Like if I'm on defense, I'm just sitting in castle staring at that side. Castle in general seems quite good for defense here.
That's how it's been played before, yeah. When we saw this in DPL earlier, it was just holding castle because the attackers can't defuse bomb without being wallbanged by castle.
Yeah, you have so much access to the entirety of the map with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 windows in this castle that you can peek out of. So they can literally just be running around the top. And, you know, as long as they have some folks set up at the other angles, they can cover most points of entry towards this bomb. It actually makes Pit look quite appealing in some ways, but they're not doing Pit. We're going up into green door, saving for the first round. JK is on our entry here. Okay, so we have attack holding up, JK flashing, but that Molly is going to keep that flash from really doing a lot here. Juker on the
nasty sniper angle on that door. See if they can utilize it.
Yeah, I mean, they're still struggling to get the push in here, right? Like, they're already down a man. Okay, we've got the door completely down. I think we're out of... No, we have plenty of util still on offense side.
Good flashes, good smokes. But they can't capitalize on it. Juker,
no, I mean, Arise is truly just like security gate check here. No one is getting past entry. No one is getting into the club.
Jing gets one, but he's in smoke with a black tar, and you don't want that.
It's like even if Yin and Jerry wins that 1v1 there, he's got 3 more. That was a decisively
that wasn't
decisive round.
Definitely. Yeah. I personally would have liked to see them actually going for base or pits and just smoking castle up, turning off the lights, and just going in close quarters, you know? If you just go in there with shotguns, you should be able to successfully take castle.
Absolutely. Looking at that map, like I said at the end, right at round start there, Pit does look appealing for those reasons. And, you know, maybe when that map gets played again, we'll see a different approach.
Definitely. I'm very curious to see how Arise is going to approach that particular map, that notorious kill dome. They have a lot of utility they get to keep now. They've actually stolen the Saber, so they've got both sniper rifles in their possession.
And we have a very tiny C-store.
Is this another 2v2 map, you think?
Is that a bug? Is that something that's been happening?
I don't know, but we saw earlier a 2v2 map pop up, a 2v2 C-store, but I'm not sure if that's a bug or purposefully put in. It did make for a very interesting deck, definitely.
I don't know TV2 well enough to say. I rarely touch that mode, but this is I think a normal small map to me. Like this can work for a 5v5.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The storage is a brutal green entrance. I'm very tempted to take Teller in this this setup that they have here, because you can door charge Teller, chuck a nade in there to try and deal with any barbs, and then ideally follow that up with flashes to get in and try to open those gates, giving you that extra angle of attack. We'll see. Technical pause. Tetra's extra hands are working on a fix. God bless Tetra's 4 hands.
Tetra 6, if I recall correctly.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, they they could push into storage, and I'd actually like to see a wall charge being placed on bathroom, and that way just quickly rushing through bathroom without actually engaging that. Because knowing these players, they're probably going to be perched up somewhere with an automatic shotgun, holding that
Yeah,
down.
the green so the I see what you're saying. The free entrance into wall charging that storage side of bathroom could get you easy access via that green door right there.
Yeah.
That's in front of the freezers.
Yeah, definitely. Because otherwise, storage, it is free, but those two green doors, just taking that
There's
like they
also
are,
something to be
it's
said, I think, about wall charging entrance and just cutting off that right half of the map as like you don't really need to worry about it on attack if you can push your team in through the entrance. You can
yeah.
kind
If
of
they take their
strategically use
shotguns
smokes.
and smokes, yeah, exactly. They could just smoke up the doorways and just hold that with SMGs or shotguns and just deny
Yeah.
the defenders from pushing into you while you defuse the bomb.
Exactly. Teller Hole can view that like center hallway stretch of the map that we're looking at. Oh, that is actually I'm looking at the map feed. Haha. So those on
I
chat or
can't.
those in stream cannot see the map currently.
Yeah, I can't either.
But my point
So,
is that Teller Hole cannot cover a bomb defuse. You can on offense just strategically position yourself to, you know, not have to worry about that. Which on some C-store maps is not the case. Sometimes it's the Teller Hole is very relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting to see how they're gonna approach this, because on attack, this particular map feels like there's a very right way and also a very dangerous and wrong way to go about it. But they did go green door on the first map, so they still have some utility.
That is true.
They've got
We have
plenty
full
of utility.
Yeah.
So they could just go in and just leave the Klecker outside. Don't worry about that.
Is it only the oh okay, the other red door is a freezer. Okay.
Yeah,
Chat,
they
you
could
will all
also
see
push
this when
into
we get back.
freezer, but that would require a nade probably to clear that out properly.
Yeah, I don't see freezer as a particularly good approach for attack on this map. I think if I'm on defense, I'm going to shoot out some of those doors, maybe hang in there and be able to rotate either, you know, out to that left side or out to the south side.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The best course of action for me would be to blow up entrance with a wall charge. We'll see what they're going for, though. They have plenty of util to make any of those decisions. But
Yeah, hopefully our technical
like
pause, you know.
it's taking a while. They're all still in the call. Do you have any DCs visible on your part? Idea of what's going on?
It looks like there may have been a DC. I see some communication about that. I don't know on whose end, but
Interesting. I wonder which
Yeah.
server they're both playing at, because the previous team, last minute, actually plays from quite far away, I believe.
oh yeah, is that something you know, Troy? Like where these teams are based?
I know Ratus Ratus is exclusively Australian. I believe last minute also had quite a few far-ranged people, but the connection issues seemed to be fine. Maybe a bit of ping. Previously was played on a US East server, I believe. I wonder which server this one is played on and why that could contribute to a DC.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm still watching the map server or the map side. It doesn't seem like. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goober says he just joined back. It was a DC. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone on Cream Dream.
Glad he is back. Luckily, the DC also happened before the round actually started.
I was gonna say,
There's
yeah,
been,
we're able to utilize the pause pretty cleanly here.
But as soon as he's back, we can continue. Maybe the teams have been discussing what we've been discussing, giving them more time than usually to come up with a plan.
I see some folks playing tic-tac-toe on the map, so
Yeah, they also do that. I think once we got our screen back, we're gonna see a whole lot of doodles, aren't we? a whole lot of drawing of board EPL players.
Yeah, on the defense side, I can see that I think they've decided what their holds are pretty easily. What remains to be seen, though, is like what the plan on offense is. Whether we go for that Teller push or just the straight rushing entrance. And it does look like Teller.
We are back, yeah.
So if I'm...
Nicely drawn out.
Yeah, and if I'm defense here, I actually kind of like... So the Teller push is good, but I think if you're prepared for it, you can't just open Teller door and it's a kill box, right? Like you can just sit there on defense with an AK.
That barbed wire is just so good as well. If they don't bring a nade, that's going to be hell to push through.
Well, and I think that's necessary almost if you're planning. I would assume that Cream Dream is bringing a nade for this, making the assumption that at the end of Teller hallway there's going to be some sort of nonsense for them to blow up.
We'll see. We'll hope. It also looks like a split push: 3 going Teller and 2 trying to take Freezer through storage. Is that a good play? What do you think, Soy?
So I think if no one's expecting Freezer, you can take a shotgun, make that clean push in through green door, and then as offense, use those Freezer doors to rotate out and kind of try to get the jump on defenders. We'll have to see how that goes, because honestly, I think if one defender's holding that green door, that plan falls apart. Arise Noon also sitting in Freezer with the Saber, so that'll be an interesting one to see for sure.
It looks like we've got no grenades coming out of Cream Dream for the attack. Ooh, they're gonna run into that barbed wire. Is that gonna stop their push?
That's absolutely tough.
That's very tough, very tough. So they're gonna rely probably on Freezer then.
Oh, and look at this. We've got Lacking doing kind of the same thing I was trying to call out here, which is staring down Teller door, waiting, just waiting.
That's exactly the right play.
And the Freezer push is happening. Cohen is in.
Yeah.
Chetford taking the bathroom.
We got a shield. Shield going out, blocking Teller.
This molly is about to be so gross. That's gross.
And that's it. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't kill, but it is such a hindrance. Okay, we got some kills off that.
That did damage. The Teller push. As soon as you saw that barbed wire, you just don't want to push into that.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised that we didn't take a nade out on offense side. Just because, like, I don't even know what the next map is. I failed to see in the rotation, but you didn't use one in the first round, I don't think.
I don't think they did either.
Yeah.
So they still had plenty.
Then again, just kind of like I said, if you don't have that coordinated plan to get into the Teller, it does become a kill box. You can't just sit there.
That L-shaped Teller is very nasty. I didn't see because he died with a shotgun indoors and he picked up the Clacker earlier, but he didn't drop it outside. So the defenders now have a Clacker for the last round, which is not what the attackers want.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a very tough one. They still got the auto shotgun. They got the big AK. They got a Clacker, and it's Kill House. Oh no. I think the smart play would be pushing Patio, right?
Let's see. What's our quickest route to bomb on this map?
That would be going through the top of hall.
I think a coordinated attempt at Patio through reception into that green door, that left green door on club, could be something that works if the team is kind of 5-stacking it. That's also, again, that's sort of a kill box scenario unless you're coordinating your flashes, right? I think if you can get that green door on the left open at the bomb at club/bar and just chuck 2 flashes in with your guys. Yep. This also does depend. Oh, it looks like they're trying to... Oh, this is a good wall charge. I do like this as a wall charge.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the best option. The red doors are nice, but with the defenders having a Clacker, you just can't safely like put all your money on one of those doors. So going through patio seems nice.
Yeah, and I would even argue that both red doors on this map are really easy to defend for defenders. Like,
True.
I would feel very tight trying to get into either of those entrances as an attacker.
True, this is probably the better play anyways, because it opens up that podium and makes sure that nobody is there at least. And that's honestly one of the major nasty spots. And it looks like the defenders picked up Juker with the attacker shield.
We have the shield.
We have the shield. Are we gonna see shenanigans?
Genuine question I just thought of. Does the shield fully protect you from a door charge explosion? I've never even had that come up.
Ooh, I don't think it does. I did like grab from the attackers a door charge and a clicker once and used it to kill an attacker when he was pushing a green door with a shield. But he was really standing into that green door, so I don't know if it reduces the blast damage or if it just completely doesn't do anything.
Well, regardless, attackers are going against our advice or plan, unless they're trying to do the dual wall charge. They are trying to dual charge here. However, they're taking the side of the map that doesn't necessarily route to bomb.
Ooh, and we see the shield coming in, actually blocking off that side, but they have nades. Nades doesn't seem to be doing much. Smokes.
Wall charges in. Juker with the auto.
Juker with the auto. Ooh.
Oh wow, yeah, they're just dropping like flies.
Can Jetford do anything? It's a lot of smokes, lots of smokes, for which feel questionable, especially knowing that the entire enemy team has a bunch of shotguns. Smokes just don't seem like the right play, but Jetford is making a haul for it, but gets caught off guard by two enemies.
So clean. And kind of like I said, like I don't necessarily know the intention in taking that north red door. Like, I guess trying to split the attention of the defenders was the goal there, but it ended up that they didn't have to split their attention too much to turn around and like just handle. I think if all 5 had been on that wall charge entry, it would have been maybe a better approach.
I think that would be a better approach as well. They had the green door and the hole that the wall charge made, which means 2 entry points, giving crossfire. That's plenty of potential entry for 5 people. Also a lot of smokes, which they tossed really close, knowing that the enemy likely has a lot of shotguns and still has the auto shotgun. Just feels very inviting for them to just stand in the smoke and shotgun you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, now we get to see what Arise does on this map, right?
Yeah,
like,
they're doing what we've seen before, exactly. Entering from base and just smoking off those windows, potentially even flowing into pit, going for that light, but just gaining castle.
And you know, going back to what I was saying the first time around this map, that castle being such a strength for the defenders, and looking at it now, base is not the worst, because I think you can just ride that wall to the left as you enter and mostly avoid the line of sights, which might be what they're planning to do here.
We've seen entries through that green door, and we've also seen it successfully being taken by the attackers by just torching down that green door, tossing in 2 flashbangs, and running in with shotguns.
Which looks like kind of what they're trying to line up here.
Yeah, very interesting. They wrote down 4 on the left red door, which means 1 is probably going for the green door, likely as a distraction, or as soon as all focus from castle is at base, the guy from green door might be able to sneak around, maybe go for the button, or try to sneakily enter through that green door on jungle side. Oh wait, did they just shift all their attention to pit last minute?
Hold on, going to map feed. No, it looks like attackers are still gonna execute we're still executing the red door plan. They're taking a pretty spread out approach, it looks like.
Very interesting.
Oh, we are converging on pit.
Yeah, I saw a lot of icons shifting towards pits. Very interesting. blowing. I don't think Pit is going to be defended at all, but it's always good to be cautious, and they are running towards that light switch, taking their night vision.
It looks like Zigolo is
They don't
hanging
all have
out,
night
just
vision equipped.
Zigolo's just hanging out, peeking the window for people, giving information, and now coming over to Pit.
That's very interesting. They went for the lights, but not all of them have night vision. I wonder what's up with that.
Okay, beach entry has been made. They were able to take the pit route through. Wow.
They're already going for
Wow.
bomb, and yeah.
My goodness. This is a fast one from Arise.
Wow. And that's how you do it.
Yeah. Holy
Arise,
smokes.
absolutely beautiful. That flank as well behind the castle wasn't prepared for that entry. That's just way too quick.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see. That's exactly
It is quite
what Cream Dream
satisfying,
should have done.
right, to have called that out in the first, and then to see Arise execute it so cleanly.
Yeah, like making the plan is always one thing. Like, I can tell you that's probably the best approach, but actually pulling that off, even on this map with that approach, it's very difficult for the attackers. So I'm very pleased to see them pulling it off so cleanly. Not sure what Cream Dream was doing on the ground floor of Castle. Like, a lot of their team was not up on those perches, which feels like they should have like probably looked into pits just to gain that information as well, not allowing Arise moving towards that bomb.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where if they're all in pit on defense, or rather, if the attackers are all in pit and you are on defense, you do just have those two doors to hold. And so if you're coordinated and you can just watch those two doors, suddenly it is kind of hard for the attackers to make that push. But if there's any confusion
Exactly.
about that, as you can see, like,
Yeah, they weren't holding those pit doors because they were focused on jungle, and at that point it's just too late. Very interesting to see Arise keeping their grenade from last round. Very good to keep that. They also kept their Clacker, the Saber. Lots of good weapons are coming out.
Someone on Arise is... Wow, they're doing a couple different things we talked about. Look at that wall charge placement.
Hey, there we
Yeah.
go. Very interesting. Yes, that's exactly like if you want to push Teller, push it like that. Nobody's gonna hang out near the red door area. Well, they might, but I don't think they are, especially with that barbed wire, which they're copying.
Yeah.
Just blowing that, that's maybe even gonna get a kill if somebody's
very
hiding there with a
clean.
molly. Yeah.
Very clean to, yeah, nade out Garage, because I would expect at least one or two barbs. And if you can coordinate that entry, they'll have probably a couple people hanging out on entrance, right?
Yeah. They also need to push Freezer because Freezer has eyes on that Teller area, and you don't want to be in that crossfire. Well, there's no little port on the right side, so it might even be safe to ignore Freezer, but then
It
you get
looks like-
5 people clumped up in Teller.
Yeah, it looks like we got Zigolo even drawing up numbers, like 2 people Freezer, 2 people pushing bathroom, and then having 1 person on entrance to have the line of sight once those shutters open up.
It's probably gonna be Noon sniping with his Saber. He is kind of betting on the rest of the team actually being able to make it into Teller and activating that button.
Right.
Let's see if they can pull it off. It is a very complex play that they're doing, but one that might work extremely well in their favor.
Yeah, oh, all right. We'll see how free door push goes here. They're in. They're looking for bathroom. Yeah, they're just dominating with these exchanges.
Wow.
Shetford with a leg roast. Can you do anything?
And now the Sabers, yeah.
Oof. Yeah, see now everything's open. We have gotten 2 of Arise down.
Jetford is making plays. So many people.
But they're just able to hunt him down. It's,
yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Against these players, like, you can clutch. We've seen 2v4s, but a 1v3 or it was a 1v5 actually, and he just got 2. These players just surround you. They know how to push single guy, and they know how to finish a job. not giving him
Yeah.
1 second to breathe or to reload. It's
I
nasty.
think that the coordination we're seeing on Arise is like, yeah, very high level for
It's-
just
they're
getting
playing it
into these.
perfectly. Definitely. And now Sigalo has the auto shotgun on attack. Ooh, do you often prefer playing with the auto shotgun? Because I just can't handle that thing. I'm really bad with it.
In a small room, I love it. Like if I see on the map, if I can see the vision of I only need to sit in this room with the auto shotgun and I can kill, at least 3 or 4 of them, then I will absolutely try to execute that. I'm just very picky about using the auto shotgun, I would say.
I've seen people taking it on the strangest of maps, but they somehow manage to just sprint around, get really close, and then just kill the enemies, getting like insane amounts of kills. I don't know how to do it. I've tried to replicate it. Usually doesn't end well.
It's all
but I
about
think-
bottlenecks. You just find the
Yeah.
bottleneck and you sit by it, and you have to have a lot of patience, I think.
Definitely gonna see Sigalo make some plays, I think. Cream Dream is gonna defend with a lot of barbed wire. They still have a lot of barbed wire left, 4 actually, half their stack. And they really are really heavily
Yeah.
defending club, it seems.
I mean, it looks like their plan is to almost five-man sit in club, take different angles,
It
and watch
does
every
look
door.
like it. Yeah.
Which, to be
They-
clear, there's room for that. I think that's not the worst strat on this map.
Definitely, yeah. It's gonna take a lot more than 2 flashbangs to flash the entirety of club. So as long as in every nook and cranny there's a player, they should be able to hold it. They
Right.
know Arise doesn't have the wall charge anymore, so they can't blow reception. So sitting on stage is actually fairly safe.
We do have people spawning on other areas of the map, but
If they are,
attackers are
the
out.
barbed wires could work against them. Like if the attackers.
Oh, we got
Wait,
to walk. Look at the strut.
Damn, that's
Oh,
that's
I was
disrespect.
I wanted to see the full commit. I wanted to see the silent sneak all
Oh.
the way.
Jukers doing 360s,
Yeah, they are
going crazy, kicking
I
down
think
doors which don't need kicking down.
They're having fun with this one, you can tell. Which, like, it's kind of on Cream Dream to say, hey, you're not allowed. You can't have fun. We'll see what they can do.
This is just psychic damage. It's it's a very, very funny place, and they're getting away with it. Come on.
Yeah, it's hard to say much more about this. They are walking in and taking their space.
There we. Oh, look at the damage Arise has taken. That's not even like collectively 100 damage. That's
Yeah.
insane.
They're all quite healthy.
They're all healthy people. Look
This
at
is
the
a
walking.
this is a dominating first set of maps, right? Like, we're gonna really have to see what Cream Dream can do to turn this around.
How they're just walking around. Oh no. Oh no,
The
Arise.
swagger, the swagger.
They're
They
walking
can't be
around like
stopped.
they own the
They're
place.
They're walking in circles.
I love the energy though, kicking down doors which are already open. That's
Listen,
just to let the enemy know we're here, we're coming
Yeah.
for you.
This is a league. We need heroes and we need villains.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've got the swagger, but they've also got the performance to show it. They need one more win, and then they win this round, which means
Yeah, we are looking
next
at a
round-
7-0 if Cream Dream can't find something on defense here.
And if this is a 7-0, we're well on our way for a 14-0, like you said, the chat predicted. Wow, this is a very interesting map. I don't know if I've seen this one before. Look at those fans.
Oh yeah,
Even if-
no. I have played this map before. This is a yeah. I. You can see what the defenders are lining up on this map, thinking that that's maybe what attack is going to do. I do like red door entrance on this map. You can kind of just get in and cleanly watch the right angle without having to worry much about the security doors until you get to that little security slot there, right? So I do think it's quite easy for attackers to take lobby here. Obviously, servers is then a bit of a tough approach if defense is doing it right. If defense has the barbs in there and maybe is sitting in there with shotguns, but we might even be using the wall charge to just kind of close things out very quick, as you can see set up on the map here.
Yeah, they're going for an expensive push, but it is kind of a make it or break it. If they win this, they've done it, but if they don't, they're kind of short on supplies.
I think they're quite
into lobby is well the right play, because it just gives access to vault, access to servers. There's no reason to be in accounting or loans or manager for the attackers. Like,
I also think the wall charge placement there might actually blow up the whole server rack that's sitting there, thus giving them a lot more space to work with.
That might be why they outlined it.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting to see, because if those server racks are down, that gives so much push potential for the attackers. One flashbang and that's all they need instead of worrying about a shotgun hiding.
It takes so much away from the defendability. All right, so we've got that entrance, that red door entry here, and we're gonna see how Arise coordinates their entry. Big flashes coming in though. Ooh. People are dropping like flies. We're already down to 2 defenders.
Already 3 down.
Honestly,
wow.
I didn't even. Yeah, I mean, obviously, that just happened fast for everybody.
Oh, but the auto shotgun can get no. He pushed in, but
that's so scary. That's so scary. If you're JKGG, that's a horror movie.
But the button is open, and they get.
Yeah, no, they're already ready for defuse.
And it's just already over. What else is there to say? They said we're gonna blow up red door, we're gonna blow into servers, and we're gonna open the vault.
Yeah, so if you're Cream Dream in this scenario, you need to be having that locker room talk before the next round.
Yeah, you can't just let them execute their plans like that. That's very tough. A lot of people died early on. It's I think Cream Dream might be in a bit of a mood debuff. What do you call it?
They have to look within themselves right now. They have to look deep.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of sadness going around Arise. Also playing the psychic damage, the mental games of slow walking and kicking unnecessary doors just to intimidate Cream Dream.
And that's going to be the test, right? Like, if you're Cream Dream, you have an option. You can let that tilt you, or you can let that kind of like, you know, throw some cold water on your face and say, we got to let these people, we got to put up something. We got to rethink how we're approaching this.
Yeah, a lot of people from Cream Dream actually are friends, or at least know each other from Arise. It's a small community, so I don't think they're necessarily tilted, but it is definitely a morale debuff to their gameplay. You need to be confident, you know. You need to have that snowball effect, like winning players keep winning. But we'll see. Maybe they pull it together. It's right now clean slate. We're gonna take 3 minutes. And then we'll see where we're at. So, see you in a bit.
3-minute break. Download the game.
Download the game.
We would love to see you. If you're here and you do not own this video game, I'm here to say it's cheap and it's really, really, really good.
like what are you doing even now? Download it on Steam. Link is probably on Twitch or on YouTube in the description. Otherwise, Due Processed Info also has it.
It's direct support. It keeps it keeps the community going.
Also, join the Discord while you're at it. Always fun. You can talk to us, the casters, but also to the devs.
2 separate Discords, one for the game and one for the Due Process League. Both out there.
Very important. And feel free to buy the game, get some friends, or make some new friends, and create a DPL team. We still have the actual tournament coming up. This is the pre-season. So yeah, would love to see you there. Maybe we get more players for Quinn's NA caster team.
I love a good open league. And with that, we're going to take a break. and we'll be back for the next round of maps.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hello. Welcome back to the Due Process stream, the official stream highlighting all the beautiful plays that are going to be made today. We've got a first match down of Cream Dream versus Arise. Now on to the second. Arise won the previous one with 7-0. Absolute destruction of Cream Dream. Right now we're facing round 2, Arise versus Cream Dream. The players are as follows. We got Zigolo, Chino, Lacking, Brody, Juker, Noon, and Coconut on Cream Dream. And then JKGG, Cohen, VIPX, Nightmare, Cam, Coco, Kate, Corp, and Kazu Corp on Cream Dream. Not all of those are going to be playing. We got 2 reserves and 5 people actually playing.
Yes, and I don't think were there swaps? I don't think there were swaps.
I don't think there were any swaps with last match, so they're going back to back. I don't know if that's a positive thing, because Cream Dream might have some morale issues with that absolute destruction they experienced in the first match. What do you think is going to change, or what's going to happen?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We got Cohen in the chat saying to all our lovely fans, do not worry. We will destroy Arise next match. So let's see what happens.
That's very good to hear. So if their morale is still high up, they know they can win. They might. It's going to be a tough fight. I have a feeling it's quite a uphill battle for Cream Dream, but also the better if they come out on top, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the maps are. That's kind of where I'm at with it, because if Cream Dream can just find their way, because they're gonna have. Are they starting on defense here? Do we even know? Is that consistent between games or matches rather?
I don't think. I think it's a new match that's just gonna be random.
Okay.
Best of 15,
Coin
a
flip,
regular ranked match. But yeah, very interesting to see. I would love Cream Dream to actually come out victorious in this one. Who doesn't love a good underdog story?
Yeah, I'm always down for a 3-match, set. Like I'm here to talk about the game. I'm here to watch the game. So more of that is great for me and great for y'all at home.
Makes it way more exciting as well. Very curious to see what the first map is. Who's gonna start defending? Who's gonna start attacking? That first map could set the mood for the entire match. Like if Arise again destroys Cream Dream with a 5-0 KD, that could just really bump down Cream Dream, and they might carry that over into the upcoming matches.
Yeah, this is like you said, clean slate time. The last match doesn't count anymore. It's time to just see what we can do. All right, we got a light delay. One player is still connecting.
Ooh, again with the connection issues. Those seem very interesting. Is it the same player as before, do you think?
No way for me to know right now. But we can keep an eye on the chat, see what they say.
Hopefully no more technical difficulties. Although it does give a great opportunity to discuss tactics in depth for a particular map.
Absolutely. Although we're not even on map yet. We're still waiting for, I think, just people to get in their requisite 5 stacks.
Yep. As we said, no switching out, which is interesting because all players, including the backups, the people on the bench, are active right now. So I guess they were just feeling that good that they decided to keep it as it is. We might see some switching about.
Yeah, it looks like we might actually be getting a sub. I don't know if I'm getting tricked by chat or not. I'm too new to to discern. But we have some folks saying possible Cream Dream subs in the chat. I do see all 2, 3. I do see only 5 players in the voice channel, so I think it is just the same 5.
Oh yeah, Cream Dream does indeed only have 5 people online, whilst Arise has all 7 of them active. Does that give a major advantage to Arise? Because like tired players can be swapped out, All
right. Yeah, we got Nomad and Roach sitting in the ranks. They are muted, obviously. I'm assuming that is standard ruled.
Very interesting. Yeah, we see Coconut. Have we seen Coconut previously? I'm not sure, but they're here now. Coconut, Noon, Sachi, Siglo, and Lekking.
I do believe that is a sub in. This is where, my knowledge will increase over time. But okay,
very
we have Cream Dream
very
on
fun.
defense. We have Cream Dream on defense in a pretty interesting kill dome. In as much as, like, look at that bomb, right? It's in castle.
Yeah. We've actually seen this one earlier on this match. For last minute versus
I want to say I've played this like once or twice.
As well.
I think I've played this like maybe like 3 times. Because I remember that door on jungle, that green door into castle, right?
Yeah.
I think on this map, beach is not terrible. There's obviously that line of sight from castle onto beach, but I think that can be very attacker favored if you're just grouped up and you're looking and you're like watching those long angles.
We've actually seen Frogs pushing from beach into pit and then using a door charge on that green door into pit. Very interesting. But it did get a kill. Yeah, it did get a kill. Very balls to the walls, if I'm being honest. But it did work out because they won that round. Very interesting to see how Arise is gonna approach this. They do bring a grenade, which either is going to be used on barbed wire, or maybe they just toss it into castle and see what they can get. It is a fairly small castle.
Yeah, they are going for this 3-2 split with Red Door and Beach. So Red Door's already made their entry in terms of exploding the door. They're just kind of sitting outside right now. Beach is in, though. This is a good distraction. Beach is just walking up for free. We got Cade Core on the beach, but he's about to be surrounded by 3 attackers.
And JK gets a beautiful shotgun kill, completely unexpected by Coconut.
Okay, this is looking a little more even. The beach approach has not necessarily panned out.
They need to keep that momentum going. Is Sigalo gonna frag it?
I love Zigalo's approach here. Like, just this slow walk up.
Like we discussed earlier, slow walking to that wall is just safe, unexpected.
Yeah,
might even
gets right under the line of sight.
It's a 3v3 and ooh, never mind. It's a
Sachi and making light work.
And they're into castle.
You know, they're kind of low. This is not completely hopeless. Yin and Jerry could make a big stand here. Although I would say that stand would start by hanging out up top and not like in the doorway right there.
Yeah, he didn't know which way to peek. He kept switching in between.
And I mean, you could see I think you could see some of the nerves there, which is understandable.
Yeah, very understandable. It's a shame because the attackers kind of messed up that flashbang. It didn't do as much and they had no more utility left. So just holding doors at that point is really strong.
Zigalo getting an Ingmar too, which does not bode well for subsequent defender rounds.
That's very dangerous. Zigalo definitely can point that thing at somebody's head and can consistently hit it.
Yeah.
That's not gonna bode well. I think that's a 2-tap to the head, right? The Ingmar?
I never look closely at the math, but I think it probably is a 2-tap to the head, and it's like 3 bullets will kill them, like just at any body shots, I think.
Yeah.
It makes very light work of defenders.
It's definitely a dangerous weapon in the hands of somebody like Zigalo. Nice push. They kept the clacker. They stole a Molotov, which is potentially quite helpful. Very interesting factory. Glad to see a map switch up.
Yeah, I think this is the first factory we've watched so far, right?
I think it might be, actually. There's definitely a factory on the previous teams, but this team, I think it is the first.
Yeah, and I like this red door plan. If you look at Office, you can see that like a lot of the line of sight gets cut off by generator. You can see Doc, but I don't think you can cleanly see red door from standing up in that office, which gives the attackers the opportunity to just get in on the left, use generator as cover, and then just like kind of work your way up that side of the map.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Oh, but they're planning on storage.
Yeah, it looks like a storage push. They did highlight dogs. Are they bringing any torches? I think they are. It seems like they just want to push storage hard.
I think they reconsidered.
They do have a lot of mid to long range weapons as well as shotguns. Oh, taking the Saber. Yeah, it looks like a lot of long range weapons, and the Saber practically confirms for me at least that it's going to likely be something to do with dogs. Or, yeah, he's bringing the torch. Yeah, Zigalo is going for dogs, trying to get 1 or 2 snipes off, and the rest is pushing servers.
Yeah.
Maybe even going for lights, because they still have their night vision goggles. Do you think they're going to utilize those this time around?
I mean, if they're pushing servers, that's the closest route to lights. I think it's pretty easy to defend if you're anticipating that on defense. Like, there's that toxic room looks gnarly to get in as an attacker. But we've seen Arise kind of just dominate any situation so far, so I'm not really counting them out of that at all.
It did bring night vision, so it looks like they might be wanting to try and switch those lights off.
And Lacking is now the one who has the Ingmar. We're about to see how that gets put to use.
Very interesting to see Zigalo pushing into servers with the rest of the team instead of using the torch to open up dogs, even though he did bring a torch.
I mean, I think that kind of tells me that at some point they decided that they were just playing deathmatch.
It
They-
does
they
feel
are
like
just-
it.
yeah.
They're not even going for the bomb anymore. They just want to kill
They
the
just
enemy.
know they can get in and win these fights, and
Yeah,
the rest,
that should
the
have been
rest speaks for
punished.
itself.
Yeah. I mean, they do so successfully.
Oh man, and poor
Jetford does get a kill.
trying to save the off here. Ooh no!
Ooh. Nope. Well, at least one attacker down, which means a little bit less eco into the next round, but that's not looking good for Cream Dream, especially if they keep stealing those Molotovs. They got another one. Why is Cream Dream grabbing the Molotovs but not using them?
That's
Those are
tough too.
mistakes you don't want to be making. Yeah, the attacker's grabbing a lot of defender weapons. Ryze, Noon and Coconut both having AKs. Very powerful weapons, especially in the hands of the attacker. Kill,
Oh my
though.
gosh,
Kill House.
They have so much on Ariza's side. This is gonna be a rough defense for Cream Dream.
This is going to be very tough. A very close range map, this one, especially Office, Hall.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Blockers
lie.
might have a bit of angles.
If I'm Coconut or Noon, I'm just running into the map and just trying to shoot my gun. At this point, I'm not even particularly worried about like what our strat is, because I have these strong guns.
The time to kill for you versus them just isn't equal. It's not even a fair fight. Like head on, you could probably 1v2 him and still outdamage him. So Noon is making a very elaborate plan, it seems.
Yeah, we're playing some like family circus on the map here, just drawing a trail. I do think, all right, let's just sit here and think, like, if we're Cream Dream, what is the best possible route to victory? I think defending the bomb room is quite strong. If you still can get, we have auto shoddy. Looks like no one's, oh no, there is one tub in play. If there's only 2 points of entry, especially if they're not wall charging. So
yeah, the Office.
I would almost ignore the rest of the
strong.
map. Like, and as Cream Dream, I would try to like mostly just sit between lockers, hall, and crates.
Yeah.
Pillbox even seems like a trap here. Like, I don't know if I necessarily need to be in Pillbox to defend the bomb on this map. We'll see though, as Ryze is just 5 stacking in on Office.
They got a nade, but the defender still has their auto shotgun, which can really come in nasty.
Yeah, I mean, if JKGG can find that, like we said, find that choke point. But they're splitting. Arise is splitting. They're not sticking together. They're floating between lockers and Office. And lockers is their entry into bomb.
But they do need to get past JK with an auto shotgun.
Well, and we just see K-Core there sitting in Pillbox like nothing's happening. Like, what's going
and they're
on?
on bomb already. The entire team is on bomb, and now the roles have been switched. What are they doing? Now the defenders need to push into the attackers. Oh no.
And again, if they had been in this room, if they had been set up in crates, I think this would have been a different story.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think just setting up in crates in bomb room is just way better. You don't want this to happen. That's like the last thing you want.
I mean, again, we're looking at, they need to get 1 on the board, they need to get a single number on the board.
Yeah, don't go 14-0. Don't go 14-0. But it looks almost like a poor communication, like almost miscommunication. How come the entire enemy team, like the entire attackers team, uncontested, just walk into bomb room, and
watching them
none
sit
of you
in
are
the
there.
hallway, was a little concerning.
You're just 3 stacking onto one green door in hallway, which they have no. Why would the attackers try and push that? It's such a shame. But Cream Dream seems to be really aggressively want to get that castle. Very well thought out. Lots of pings, lots of markers. It looks like they're gonna wall charge into castle. We haven't seen that before on this map. This is the 4th time we're playing this map tonight, and
Okay.
this is the first time somebody thought about wall charging into castle.
Yeah, I want to say that's very doable. I feel like,
right?
Yeah,
You can sneak, like we've seen them sneaking close to that wall before safely.
Absolutely.
I don't think the defenders are gonna expect this, honestly. If you manage to push into castle and not get absolutely shredded.
Well, and the counter to that
that's good.
strategy, right, is to kind of just sit in that jungle corridor, and as they come around that corner from base up from beach, you can be there with an Ingmar, and you can just like let it rip. But you have to be anticipating that.
Definitely.
So we'll have to see. And Arise is very good at these defensive rotates. They're very good at adapting to what is actually happening.
Yeah, definitely. I fear that as soon as they blow into castle, if Cream Dream can't get into castle fast enough but linger on the outside, Arise is just gonna flank around through that water, like you said, and just take out the attackers whilst they're standing and getting shot from all sides, from the hole that they blew themselves to on top of castle through the windows and far away from the L bend in the water.
Wow, just a raw door kick on beach. Although I guess, they have pretty good entry here. It's kind of hard for defenders to...
Beach is usually undefended here, yeah. Now they need to make paces and actually get
Coconut.
in there.
Look at Coconut.
Boone is already
Look at
down.
Coconut.
Coconut is...
Oh my god, Coconut!
Oh, you need to get closer.
No, too far!
No.
It's okay, they got the opening pick. Okay,
They
wall
got
charge
some
is
damage.
set.
They got some damage.
Oh my god, that molly. My goodness.
It's a 2v2.
That just evened things up. I thought it was a 4v2. Now it's a 2v2.
Yeah. Are they gonna pull it out? Oh, watch high. Watch
this
those
flash
angles.
could be really good. You got to get in on that, though. You got to get that second flash off. Oh, wow. Yeah, they were too ready.
Holding. There we go. Like we said,
That's
Sigalo with the
that
flank from behind. They took too long, and Sigalo managed to get behind them.
For just a second there,
angle.
that looked like Cream Dream was gonna maybe get one on the board. But that one molly just kind of stifled their momentum enough for it to become just an even match, and then at that point, Arise is cleaning things up.
Yeah, definitely. I think going into fair gunfights with Arise is not something you want. You want to be quick, you want to push, you want to do unexpected things, and just have like Arise trickle in one by one and take them out like that. Getting flanked and just taking too long doesn't really work, sadly.
Well, and it was, I think, it
was a good push.
It was a great push, and it becomes about what do you do once that molly's down and you realize it's a 2v2 situation, right? Do you sit there outside and still try to push your way in, or do you try to take a different approach, like maybe start peeking that long angle and trying to just hold things back a little more defensively, knowing that you would have some time to defuse the bomb once you win the gunfights? But we saw them try to really just push those flashes and just get in there, and Arise was able to play right to that.
Yeah, definitely. They had 2 flashbangs, so I don't blame them for trying to push castle, but it's just some of those angles.
Yeah, they had
honestly,
Arise had such a kill box there for them.
Yeah. Yeah, very nasty. And Sigalo with the flanking from behind, actually getting that. They have a clacker. The defenders have the clacker secured. I think Sigalo is probably gonna be perched up in storage, just pressing that, knowing that the attackers have no more wall charge and thus can't enter docks. It's either gonna be storage or on the left of generator, that red door, but
I don't actually see clacker in the items. Did they put it back, or did they like maybe they couldn't find it?
No, they put it back. No, Sigalo had the clacker equipped, but they seemingly
they just put it back then,
back, saving for another round. I'm not sure if that was best play. Oh no, they picked it up again. Sigalo has the clacker.
Okay.
And he dropped it. Very interesting to see this going back and forth. Coconut seemingly has the clacker now.
Got it.
Yeah. So is Coconut gonna be at the right door? It's gonna be servers?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Coconut, I think, is hanging out by the docks.
Yeah. a shame, but we now know that they're all gonna be right there.
And they are splitting between servers, server farm, and storage. So green door in the storage, red door.
Probably the best play. Pushing all servers could be a bit rough, especially with a barbed wire like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Cohen trying to get up into office, I think.
But they have nothing against the
This
barbed
is
wire.
such a rough barb. Yeah, like holy smokes. It's such
are
a
picking off.
choke.
The defenders. Oh, and he's sitting there with a shorty. Yeah.
Yeah,
push that.
Sigalo in office is gonna be.
That's not so. You
Ooh.
don't want to push that bar up there. That was a mistake. I get that they had to do something, but anything was better than that.
And now Jetford
Jetford
trying to
goes
make
sneaky.
something happen. 2v1. Not impossible.
The lights
49
are
seconds
out
on the
and
clock.
Jetford has night vision. Oh, but
And
Sigalo is
Sigalo is
hiding
just-
in a container. He's gonna wait for Jetford to get onto the bomb, and then Sigalo knows where Jetford is and can hunt him down.
Right.
Trying to equal the odds, trying to eliminate the element of surprise.
Oh,
At least
Jetford taking this high peak. I'm scared. We know
Sigalo's right
yep.
there. Oh, he saw Sigalo. He knows where he is. Oh,
And he's
don't
trying to
get
just
close.
win the fight, dude. You gotta defuse. Oh no.
It's too late already.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have tried to just start baiting to defuse, but maybe there's some maybe it's getting personal. Maybe Jet just wanted to try and get the kill.
Maybe. That bomb isn't wall bangable, so just standing behind it and defusing would force
Exactly.
Sigalo
And
to
now,
come out.
Sigalo just picked up the workhorse. That is
that's tough. It's gonna be tough, especially pushing into Sigalo close range with a semi-automatic weapon, not knowing what Sigalo has, is very questionable. Very questionable plays we're seeing here today, pushing into barbed wire, getting close with a long-range weapon. But can they turn it around? They can still win. Arise doesn't have 6 wins yet, which means that it's not going to be tight just yet.
Yeah, I mean, we got one more attempt from Cream Dream on this set, and then a swap.
The problem is Cream Dream just knows, Arise knows that Cream Dream doesn't have any breaching capabilities. They lost all their clackers, they lost all their charges. It's gonna be loading.
You can see them
sadly.
setting up defensively in that way too,
Yeah.
right? Like they're not even caring about the red door entries. They're
They
basically
know
saying
they have to push through.
we don't
Yeah.
have to care about the right side of the map. We just have to basically hold these 2 doors where they've placed barbs and let the guns do the rest.
Don't let the attackers enter hall at all,
Yeah.
and you've won.
Yeah.
The problem is Cream Dream probably is also out of nades. Wow.
Have they used both frags? I need to
I
need to start
I
training
think
myself.
they use both frags. Yeah, I don't want to be very negative, but this is gonna be, I want to say, almost impossible to push through.
This is
with
the
Arise on
very
the other
definition
side.
of an uphill battle.
Like every single variable, every single odd is against them. All Arise needs to do is just hold those barbed wires, and like we saw before, 2 people trying to push through barbed wires, it doesn't end well. Not against a team that knows how to play around them.
I don't even know if they've put barbs down. I'm looking at the map. They're just in position in hallway watching these entrances. You know, they might be trying to just,
Maybe Arise is out of barb and they didn't notice.
you know, they might just be trying to almost trick Cream Dream into saying, yeah, come on in, while being fully prepared. But here we go.
Oh no!
Dawn
Coconut
attempt.
trying to wallbang a door, but they pushed in quickly. Very good.
And we do have
plays.
barbs down.
We do have barbs.
All
Sigalo
right.
with the auto shotgun rotating, trying to get some kills. They're hiding in bunkers, surprisingly. I don't know if that would have been my first pick, but it's working out for them.
Well, and they made Pillbox work. Knowing that you have to go through Hall does make Pillbox quite good, right?
That is true, especially if you
Um,
also know they don't have any nades left. That makes
Yeah.
Pillbox so much better. That's very true.
Unlike the approach we saw Rise take, where they took the right side of the map, ignored Pillbox entirely. When you have to take the left side of the map, Pillbox is suddenly quite nice for the defense.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's 6-0 right now, which means that Cream Dream can only tie or lose. If they tie, we go into an unranked match and play that as a tiebreaker, basically. But
Yeah,
unless Cream Dream is gonna win
of...
6 straight games, it's not looking very good for that team, don't you think?
We're very much on the precipice of the 14-0, and we'll just have to see, right?
I think Cream Dream's best option right now is not even winning. I think they just don't want to get 14 out. I think that's...
Just don't be free. Don't be completely free.
Ooh, but this is my favorite play. I always play this. If I'm with random people, I can't always get them convinced to do this play. But going through entrance, getting into security by just smoking it, just tossing a smoke, and then blowing the security wall to get to button. It's so quick. Like, you'd think, oh, there are going to be people in hall or loans. It doesn't matter. Like, you just look to your right, press the button, and instantly go back. They don't have any time to react or to actually kill you. And if you have somebody waiting at vault, they can get in before that button gets deactivated again. You can just ignore it after that. Like, once it's open, you've got lobby, you've won.
Here's what's fun about that. You can very clearly see Cream Dream trying to pull off that very plan that you just described, and look at what Arise is doing to the lobby.
They know.
They know exactly. Yeah. They're cutting off every route. They're putting down these barbs, and they're trying to turn the entrance into essentially a kill box for them.
You're exactly right. I haven't even noticed that. They placed one barb at entrance, which means that they're gonna need to nade that, which means that the rest of lobby and opening that door actually closes off the last little gap, forcing the attackers to push through that barbed wire.
Rise is kind of in their heads right now. Like, they are predicting exactly what Cream Dream's trying to do.
That's horrible for them. And
no,
they nade short and they get the barbed wire at the door, not knowing what's ahead. Oh no!
And that's a rough smoke too. Goodness.
Yeah, these are
is just a scramble. And the Dawn, the Dawn coming in.
Not what you want to see.
Yeah, we're looking at almost the close of things here. 3v5 with Arise defending and just dumping their mags.
Ooh.
Coconut really going crazy with that.
Yeah, they saw the barbed wire and seem to be switching tactics.
Yes.
I think that's the best play. You can't push this.
Yin and Jerry very much trying to use the wall charge on the vent entrance, though I don't think able to, and now trying to take it all the way over to manager. Yeah.
Arise knows they're rotating. I saw Noon rotate to that red door. Ooh. No, I don't think they're at entrance
really
anymore.
Scrambling to figure out what to do. They realize they have to do this wall charge on manager door, I think.
They got 1 minute to get through.
They also have the door. Okay, so we're door charging manager now. We're gonna try to do something, and it's just getting shut down.
The attackers knew.
Yeah.
They're closing vault now just to waste time. It's
rough. Yep, Yin and Jerry on his own. Oof.
Behind. That's an angle as well. Like those little plays. Like, you should know that there's an angle from Teller through that hole in the wall into accounting. Just walking past that, just without checking it, it's tough. It's rough, especially against Team Arise, which knows how to hold those angles. Like, they know holding Teller, the nice access into vault. You need to play around that. That's it. But well done, Arise. 14-0 against Cream Dream. That's a tough cookie to swallow for Cream Dream, I think.
I was gonna say, not a lot of wild things to say about that, other than the very, very, very clean performance from Arise. Right? We kind of just saw them make very easy work of the opponents. And obviously, shouts out to Cream Dream for even being here, being in the due process.
Definitely.
This was not an elimination round, was it, in this preseason tournament?
I think
I need to have my start GG up.
I think it is. It's gonna be a Rise versus Last Minute in the grand finals.
Okay.
That's what I believe. So that's gonna be very exciting because those are two very matched teams. I think most people would bet their money on a Rise for winning this tournament, but honestly, underestimating Last Minute is not something you should do.
I was gonna say I'll have to watch the VODs from earlier because I only saw the last little bit. But how was that first match today, Troy? You were here for both of them.
That first match was really something else as well. It was a bit closer than this one, definitely. They went 7-3 both rounds, and then winning for Last Minute. But also, yeah, Frogs just made mistakes, which Last Minute capitalized on. Like Frogs at one point brought in 3 Molotovs on defense and didn't use any of them. So Last Minute just gained access to 3 Molotovs. Little things like that just add up. Very curious to see Last Minute play against a team like a Rise, which isn't gonna make those mistakes likely.
Yeah. No, it's exciting to think these two teams that kind of had relatively dominating performances today are going to be meeting each other in the arena.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be the pinnacle.
Yeah, as you guys saw on the schedule there too, we have a show match coming up on Memorial Day. It sounds like we're going to have some creators involved with that. I myself need to find out which ones. But I'm always excited to see people play Due Process for, the masses, as it were. So check that out too. We'll have that stream going on May 25th. That means we got 2 more days of Due Process content coming to y'all on this channel, as I understand it.
Yeah, we're gonna have more games tomorrow around the same time. So be there. Be square.
And anyways, if you watch this, if you haven't played this game, if you're just somehow seeing this stream and you're like, what is going on? It is called Due Process. It is on Steam. It is always available at a very good price. And
it's definitely worth the price.
We would encourage you to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Download it at dueprocess.info or like said before on Steam.
Yeah,
and
this is very much a community-driven game. The more people that we can have enjoying it, the more we all get to hang out and keep enjoying it together. So truly, check it out if you're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah, join Discord, Hangouts, maybe join DPL or make a DPL team of your own and join these tournaments. Would love to see you.
Yes, this is the preseason. We will have a formal Due Process League coming up soon after this preseason is over. And so we'll just keep bringing you this action.
Yeah, amazing games. Loved casting with you, Soy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Troy. This is my first time doing it, but I've been talking about this game since I started playing it back in 2020 or 21, whatever it was. Love to be able to use my brain in talking about this game to bring it to a wider audience.
It's been really fun.
With you too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Great matches, great games. 14-0, which means that we're done quite quickly.
I was gonna say, and hey, shouts out to you for doing both matches today. That's the
long
haul.
Yeah. Tiring. I think I drank like 2 liters of water in the meantime.
Well, of course, thank you to all of our wonderful viewers. If you're out there in chat, if you're typing, we love you.
Definitely.
All right.
I think that's gonna be a wrap.
Yeah, I think that's what we've got. Remember the show match on the 25th. Remember the finals match tomorrow. If you guys liked what you saw here today, there will be more of that on the next 2 days of this channel. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll hope to see you on those days as well.
Peace.
Later, Gators.